Gregor Show.
And it's hit the crossbar. McDavid a goal post here in the OT.
On Sports 1440.
Three today. Making it in.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Going by side, ready to play it downfield and coming back to catch it. He's here at the 46. Will I find something in there to give me just what I need? Another reason to bleed. One by one, hitting up my sleeve.
Well, terrific Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We always appreciate it. So look forward to having you here in the afternoon of the Jason Gregor Show. So we got lots to discuss today. Of course, training camp continues on for the Edmonton Oilers on the ice for the first session. We're going to hear from Connor McDavid right away. Stuart Skinner. Oh, by the way, we got to get this out of the way. Stuart Skinner, the over-under, the 205 was a typo. I know people yesterday were freaking out. Oh, my God, he lost 25 pounds. No, he's 215. And I asked him last year, he played around 225 to 230, kind of depending, maybe a little bit more early in the year and vary at times. But he's been 215, says feels good. He did it more so for career longevity and joint longevity. Just, you shed a little bit of weight. If you said for him, there's no chance you play at 205, it wouldn't be good. So he did cut out a little extra sugar too, and he kind of laughed. It's not like he was eating a lot, but, switched up his diet a bit and just did it more for joint longevity than anything else. Says he feels a bit lighter on the ice. His equipment's the same size, although he did joke that his suit pants are a little bit too big. So I was going to get those fixed. Might have to get a few new suits he was joking about. But, his overall equipment, he goes, you're not going to notice it. This is not anything noticeable that people are going to see on TV, but just something that says he feels a little bit better about. So that's the update on Stu Skinner. We'll hear from McDavid. And yes, we actually talked a lot of hockey stuff with Connor McDavid, who had Andrew Mangiapane and David Tomasic on his wings today. Draisaitl was in the second unit. He was with Kapanen and Podkolzin. Trent Frederick was playing center with Howard and Janmark. And then you had the other line, Nugent Hopkins was with Henrique and Matt Savoy. You also had Philip Lazar and Jones. And those are really, I think, the forwards who are competing, right? There's 5 lines of forwards. 4 of them are going to be in the everyday roster. Zach Hyman, of course, we're not including yet because he is not participating with the main group. While they were, group number A was on the ice in the morning. He was on the Rogers Place ice surface, and he actually had some company because Damian Carfagna got banged up in the rookie game, as did James Stevens. So neither one of them skated with the main group today, but doesn't sound like it's anything too long. So they might get into a preseason game later on next week. I hope to be skating with the main group in the next few days. Oilers practice. What stood out to me was Connor McDavid's comments after, where he said, that's the best practice we've had in a long, long time. It was quick. It was fast paced. It was up tempo. And, for McDavid's not a guy who just throws out compliments haphazardly. He just felt like, it was good. And, he talked about a lot of things. So we'll get into that McDavid interview coming up here momentarily. Also, we got Thirsty Thursday. Terry Ryan We'll be by. Brian Diardo will join us from CBS Sports. We'll talk some NFL, the Thursday nighter tonight. Oh, my goodness. You go to playalberta.ca, and I'm thinking this would be a good time. The Bills look good. The Dolphins, well, they look like the Dolphins right now. They don't look good at all. So the Bills are 11.5-point favorites. And Cons, if I still might take the Bills, but I know that's a lot of points. But man, the way they were playing, the way the Dolphins are playing, the Bills are at home. I think I might even take the Bills at 11.5.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't blame you for considering it. You know, the Dolphins offense, we saw them last week, a much better performance, obviously, against the Patriots than we saw in week 1 against the Colts. But I don't know, going into Buffalo, I still believe in that defense, despite what we saw from Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's going to be that close of a football game. But yeah, I think if you're throwing a little money down, the over could be a nice one, as with the spread. And man, if you have Josh Allen in fantasy, I'm expecting a big week for him.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are going to see that for sure. Also, we will hear from Speck later on. He was down at the skate. Head coach of the Oil Kings, former Edmonton owner Jason Smith, will join us as the Oil Kings tomorrow night. Jason Smith's head coaching debut for the Oil Kings as they are in Red Deer. Then they're home to the Red Deer Rebels on Saturday night. Get your tickets at the Oil Kings website. We also got 2 minute warning from Cam Tate. Livingston will be by, and we got a jam-packed Thursday afternoon. As always, we'll take your thoughts. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Some things to look for that stood out to me watching the pace is quick, and there's a few things. I'm telling you, man. Like if you just would have came to the skate today and you had no previous notion of who players were or anything like that, so you had no bias, you had nothing, you just watched it, you'd be like, okay, that 97 guy, he's pretty good. Man, that 86 can really shoot the puck. Tomasic, man, I don't know if he didn't score in every shot, but he scored a lot. And enough that even McDavid mentions, like, geez, this guy, you know what, because he skated with them a bit, but was playing with them, and he finished a lot of chances. Now, again, I know it's only, it's a lot of odd man rushes and everything like that. So you're in prime shooting territory, right? You're making your goalies go east and west, getting really good shooting lanes. You should score a fair amount, but he scored more than a lot of other guys and with a hard shot. So that's it. But the one, man, Max Jones, when you see his speed, and you see his size, and you see his wrist shot, and you're just like, this guy should be more. Like, he is a practice player that makes you go, wow. Like, he was flying today. And when you see all those, the size, the shot, the speed, I understand why this guy was a first-round pick. And I understand why organizations are still interested in him, because if for some reason the light bulb would just go on and Max Jones would be like, you know what, guy, I gotta go, right? I'm going to find my consistency at 27. I know some people say that'll never happen. It might not. But when you watch this guy, like he was never a huge scorer, although he did have 106 points. I mean, a goal scorer. He's never been a huge goal scorer. I think he did have, he had like 19 goals in 31 games. It's pretty good at the OHL level. And so, prorate that, he would have been a 40 goal scorer. 45 goal scorer, but he's never hit double digits in the NHL. Lots of guys can't score, but God, can he skate, and he can move, and he's got a good wrist shot. And you're just like, and you watch him, I'm sure Oilers fans, you remember his first few games, he's banging bodies, like, hey, this guy, and then just slowly erodes. And he's not as physical, he's not as engaged. And God, if you're Max Jones, like you get to the point where maybe it'll never all hit. Because it's hard. That's what's difficult about the NHL. There's lots of guys with skill. But then it's one of the best attributes is consistency. And it is hard to find it. Just consistency year to year. And, I don't care if you're a fourth liner every year. The consistent ones, I had a dinner with Kyle Brodziak. There was a guy, 7th round pick, one of the greatest 7th round picks of all time, played over 900 games. he figured out how to be consistent. He wasn't elite, but man, he was a really solid third line player for probably over half his career and a really solid fourth line player for the other half. He figured it out. Now, his first few years in the league weren't great, but once he kind of was like, hey, man, I got to roll, kill penalties, be physical, be reliable, win faceoffs, and he showed up every night. And you knew, I remember Ken Hitchcock saying, I knew what I would get from Brodziak, and that becomes a skill set. And God, if Max Jones could ever find that, that guy, you'd look and say, and I don't just say all, if you're a third liner or if you're a consistent fourth liner, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You played 10 years in the league. It's a hell of a career. Because God, if you watched him today, should have sent out videos, you'd see him be flying. He's honestly, outside of McDavid, he's the fastest guy on the ice. And Noah Philp looked good. Again, I get it's training camp, but there's a player. Like if I'm Noah Philp, when I get to my preseason games, because Noah Philp, he played the most preseason games last year. He's going to get an opportunity. He has got to stand out. You got to grab a guy, fisticuff sometime, be a hitter. Scoring is obviously nice, but man, he's got to get noticed. He's got to be a player who comes into camp and even when they play in those scrimmages, you know what? Noah Philp's like, I'm sorry, but there's no friends in scrimmage for me. I got to make the team. Because he's another guy who's got size, can skate, and he can shoot the puck. He can drop the mitts if needed. He can win faceoffs. He's got a lot of tools in the toolbox, but he's got to show them every time. That's what's hard, man. That's why it's hard. For the guys who, you play 400 games in the NHL, plus you figured out how to be a consistent NHLer, right? You guys can bounce around and, 250, 280, playing 50 games here, 45, but healthy scratch 15, 18 times a year. That's the difference. And Jones has done it. Phil's never been in the NHL, but even when he came in last year, I was like, God, like you see it, but I'm like, I wanted more. I didn't notice him really getting engaged a lot. And so that's something that I'd like to see. So looks like Jalen Waddle, for those of you in fantasy, looks like he is going to play tonight for the Dolphins. So we're going to get to Connor McDavid. Other news, the Blue Jays, a matinee affair. Uh-oh. I know it's only 2 games, but one run in 2 games, you're not going to win many games. If you're the Blue Jays and the Blue Jays, they lose. Meanwhile, Cleveland wins. So the Jays magic number is 3, but you know what? They do get some help. Detroit loses again. So the Jays are still 4 games up on Detroit for first in the entire American League. So they picked 2 good games, I guess, if you're ever going to lose. You don't lose any ground there. Boston also lost. The Yankees are not playing today. Are they playing tonight? No, they got the day off. So there you go. So you look at the updated standings. They're 3.5 up on the Yankees, and the Yankees have a game in hand. So there could be 3 there. They're 5.5 up on the Bo Sox. And more importantly, they are 4 games up on Detroit for first in the entire American League. So that's an update on the afternoon. We got some other texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, Yankees are playing tonight, Cons?
Yeah, they got the Orioles at 5.
Okay, there you go. So that would be their opportunity. They'll either be 3 or 4 back at the end of the night. Hey, Greg, are the Oilers going with any PTOs? No. I said it before, now I know there's some, there's fake rumors, 3 PTOs. Like the Oilers weren't signing 3 PTOs, and they were never signing a goalie to a PTO. Look at it. They got 16 forwards for 14 spots. Their 7 defense spots are pretty much locked. Regula, maybe, you got Lappinen. Like, who are they going to get? Right? Like, honestly, who do you think you're going to bring in on a PTO right now? I don't see anybody on a PTO that they would bring in that probably had a realistic shot to make this team. So no PTOs at all. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our email inbox. We'll take a quick early break so we can get to Connor McDavid next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true. But first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at cfr.ca.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
To a child, a new bike means everything. Freedom, mobility. It's a big step forward. You can help by donating your gently used bike during Sports Central's 3rd annual bike drive. Every Saturday in September, Sports Central will be collecting bikes in Edmonton and area. Don't have a bike to give? You can donate $175 for a new bike and helmet. Drop off at Bonnie Doon Mall, participating Fountain Tire locations, and at United Sport and Cycle Gateway. Visit sportscentral.org. Brought to you in part by Sports 1440.
Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit volvocarsedmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca. Get in the game. It's Thursday, the Daily Grand. Oh, baby. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. That's $7.3 million. Or you can get a lump sum, but you know what? That's like one sum is just one time you feel great. And yeah, you make investments, but man, $1,000 a day, be glorious. Everybody's going to take their own, whichever way you do it. Maybe just do it. Like, I wonder, can you have an option of like, can I get $1,000 a day for 1 year and then get the rest in a lump sum? Maybe that'd be the best of both worlds. I would just kind of like to get it every day. It'd be kind of fun. You do what you like. If you win, good luck. PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the oil report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. As their fall experience sale event is on now, you can save up to $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s, and the all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come and test drive one today at volvocarsedmonton.com. TS Ekholm drives one in case you want to be a Viking like yourself. Check it out. Now, Connor McDavid, of course, spoke today after practice. Had the chance to ask him the first question just about his line mates. Obviously, I know it's day one of his skate or whatever, but what he skated with him last week as well. What's been his early impressions of David Tomasic?
Yeah, big guy. Obviously played lots of pro and played at a high level. You can tell that. You can see that. Great shooter. Every single time he seems to go on a drill, he seems to score. That's a talent that not everyone has. So, yeah.
What do you look for now that this is year 11 for you? Like, what's your goal in training camp preseason? You have a game you want to play. What do you look for to make sure you're ready and the team's ready to have a better start?
Yeah, I think obviously the team hasn't gotten off to 2 great starts the last couple of years. So, making sure that our group's ready to roll right off the gates, right out of the gate. It's important, obviously we saw coming down the stretch last year, getting hit a little bit with the injury bug. And if you're not in a good spot, it's tough. So I want to put ourselves in a good spot right off the opener. So that's obviously what we're trying to accomplish here out of camp.
Obviously, Andrew Mancher pretty well. What's it like having him on this side as compared to having wear a Flames jersey?
Somebody I grew up playing against, honestly. We grew up around the same area. Never played with him, always against him, and he's always been that annoying guy on the other side. So nice to have him on our side. But he's a lot more than that. He's a great player. A guy who scored 35 goals in this league before, and I think that's right, but something around there. He scored goals in this league and can play with an edge, plays fast, wins battles. That's what you're looking for.
Like a lot of different things that you'd want in a winger.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things that I'm looking for in a winger. So fun to play with him day one, but as we know, things change, and but hoping to build something with him, and something that we can build on and roll moving forward.
You mentioned you felt you had a good year last year, but maybe not a great year. Are there specific things this season that you want to improve on?
I think I'm always looking to improve. Scoring goals was something early in my career that I wanted to work on, and seemed to check that box. And then for whatever reason, it's gone back to the playmaking side, which is fine too. I'm here to do whatever the team needs and help this team win. But I want to score goals, and I want to play at a high level and play at the level that I expect for myself. And looking to establish that right away.
Can you describe the difference in maybe just the feel of your whole group from this time compared to last year, right? Obviously the unfortunate ending both years, but there just seems to be a different feeling. Can you describe what that is?
I think it's motivation. I think it's excitement. I think it's a little bit of new blood, young blood, which is exciting to have. Bring some energy to the rink every day. So truthfully, I thought that was the best practice we've had in a long time. So it was exciting, fun to be out there, high pace, competitive. Thought it was the best practice we've had in a long time.
Stan talked yesterday about not trying to win this year with last year's team. Now, I know you got a few new guys, but you got a lot of the same guys back. Does changing up the lines, does guys playing with other players, does some change need to happen to make it a fresh year?
At times last year it was a little stale, and you can have that with older teams that are kind of have one eye and looking ahead to the playoffs. So you can have some monotonous days, and I felt that last year. So having some new faces in here, some young blood, as I said, playing with new guys, it can be exciting. A new project, something to work on and build on. And with that being said, we know that we can always go back to the old things, playing with Leo or playing with Nuge or whatever it is. We always have those things to go back on, and but it's exciting to try to build something with some other guys.
You mentioned the word motivation a couple of times, and I know the previous loss in the Cup final was heartbreaking, you said, and last year was more anger. So can you describe how motivation changes based on these scenarios?
I don't know if it changes, but I think it's just easier to dust yourself off and get going again. I think Leo and Nursey and I skated together like 10, 12 days after. So, it was a quick turnaround, and I think that's a good thing, just to keep on rolling. So, think our guys feel pretty good. Feel good with where our group's at. Obviously, it's day one. Everybody feels good with where they're at. But as I said, I thought that was a high-paced practice, competitive, and fun to be a part of.
I want to ask you, you've done this walk here from the room many times. Loud crowd. How would you compare that to your walk out of the concert?
Yeah, definitely different. Yeah, that was really fun. Really, cool experience to be a part of. What those guys go through. It was fun to see, fun to be on that side of it. Obviously, I think I'm a big fan of theirs, and it was cool to see it from his side of his point of view and how exciting that is. But understanding that, he's got 65,000 people there trying to watch him do his thing. He's got to entertain a lot of people. It can be stressful, but just the adrenaline walking out was pretty fun.
Some athletes and artists always feel like they don't want to do the other person's job. Like, oh, that'd be cool. Are you guys like, hey, I'd like to be a musician?
I think if I touched the mic, everyone would have left. So, I have definitely a great appreciation and respect for what they do. I don't wish to trade lives or to do what they do, but definitely cool to see it from their perspective. They had 120 some odd thousand people come see them for 2 days in a city. It's a pretty amazing thing, and yeah, pretty cool.
You mentioned in your interview the other day, it's like a feeling you think you'll have. Is that just something, do you think about it every day, or do you give yourself like time off? Kind of, what's your approach now? Is it a day thing? Is it a week thing, a month thing for the contract?
Obviously, we think about it. We talk about it. Gauge where we're at, what we're feeling. Yeah, nothing's really changed as of now, and just excited to be here at camp and get rolling. It's always an exciting time for us and for the rest of the league, and yeah, we're excited.
Interesting, his thoughts about the practice and how good it was, right? Tomasic, his shot. Obviously Mangiapane, and this is day one of camp, right? Like the lines we see today, I'm not going too crazy with it, but people like to know what they are because it's important and it is something to discuss that's new. And the lines, if you missed it today for the orders, had McDavid with Tomasic and Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins with Savoy and Henrique, Philip with Lazar and Jones, Marhala with Griffith and Rem Pitlick, and then Gruby with Petrov and Lewandowski. Ekholm was with Bouchard, Stillman was with Stetcher. Skinner and Pickard were in the first unit. The second group had Kapanen, Podkolzin with Draisaitl. Trent Frederick was playing center with Howard and Janmark. And away you go. So, and then Nurse, of course, was with Wallman, Emberson. So that's another one. Emberson got the first look with Brett Kulak. If that was day one of camp, but you know what? That is easily the biggest competition on the back end. Who's going to be the third pair right defenseman? So, Connor McDavid in good mood. I know people would be like, hey, what else are you going to ask about the contract? There's really not much else to ask. There's nothing new. I'm not going to inundate him with questions every time. We talked about a lot of stuff, and do your job. You ask about it at the end, and away you go. But I can tell you right now, you won't catch me asking Connor McDavid a question about his contract every 3 days. I don't see it being a major focus at all. It's obviously a big one, but it's when I say major focus, it's not going to it's not going to be a big one. The other thing is, and probably the biggest news coming out from today, is that Zach Hyman will be out until November, said Chris Knobloch. His just needs a little bit more time. So, hey, that's going to be a month of October where there's going to be lots of guys potentially with the opportunity to play with Connor McDavid. So that is that's pretty big news. I would say. Don't you agree, Connor Halley?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime a player that Zach Hyman is, and not only goal scoring, Gregor, but remember when he was taken off that top line at the start of the playoffs, he had the element of the physicality. So I think his his presence certainly will be missed. But as you mentioned, when that happens, that opens up the door for a lot of young players or even some veterans to get that opportunity to jump in there, not only in the top 6, but also power play time. Who's going to be the net front presence when they get PP1 out there? So I think, it sucks for him. It sucks for fans. But for some other players on this team, it's a really good opportunity to turn some heads and get noticed early on in the season.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the net front presence. That job is now wide open. It's wide open because Corey Perry did it last year, right? Evander Kane has done it. They're not here. So you look at the Oilers roster, and a guy who now big ball, because it's a skill set. It's not just size, but obviously Thomas, that could be a player potentially. You look at the other options are Trent Frederick. Is Ike Howard a net front presence guy? I don't know. I'd have to ask him, right? Pod Coles and Captain. There's going to be lots of guys, man. Like it's a big skill. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm one of those players, what is the first thing I'm doing after practice tomorrow? I'm staying out late and I'm deflecting pucks. I'm just working on being in front of the net. I know that, you're not going to master the art in 3 weeks, but it's something I would look at. Why not? So that is that's a we knew Hyman wasn't going to start the season. Now it's confirmed he's going to miss at least 1 month of the year for the Edmonton Oilers, and obviously better to be safe than sorry, shall we say, when it comes to Zach Hyman in this regard. But probably bad news. Hyman spoke yesterday, and he was in really good spirits. He's happy with how everything is progressing. He just got his cast off, which to me, when I heard that, I'm like, well, obviously he's going to be out a few weeks for that. So in the month of October, the Oilers have 13 games. So he'll miss at least 12, right? They're at home for 2, then they're on the road for 5, at home for 1, on the road for 2, and then finish the month at home. So they have 5 home games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 road games in the month of October. Then they play on the 1st of November. So probably 13 games. Like really, then they play back to back. Like there's a chance he could miss the first 16 games of the season. So there you go. Not ideal news for the Oilers, but we'll see. Hey, Gregor, what are you hearing on Connor Ingram? Well, I'm not sold at the Edmonton Oilers. Like Connor Ingram was out all of last year. You're going to have to, it's not like he's coming off a knee injury, right? Like you're coming off, he had to take some time. It's a mental health break, and I 100% hope he's good to go. But you don't know, right? Just like you don't know how good a player is going to be coming off a knee injury, right? It's just a different type of not necessarily a physical injury, obviously. So where is he going to go? Is he a guy who might have to start in the American League for a team? We'll see. He was placed on waivers and there was some talk of maybe for personal buyout. So we'll see what happens there. But I'll be honest, I haven't even asked Stan Bowman about it. Stan Bowman and them, I think they're going to ride with Skinner and Pickard to start the season. Those guys did a lot of things right. Sure, there's some games that you'd like better, no question, right? Stuart Skinner talked about it. And actually, you know what? Let's get to Stu Skinner right now. Let's hear from first of all, we got through the weight gate that, of course, yesterday, a typo had a lot of people, oh my God, Stuart Skinner's 205. What the heck's going on? He's never been 205. So I asked Stu about the typo for his weight to start training camp.
Yeah, definitely not 205. I don't know if that would be healthy for me, losing 25 pounds in a month, but 215 right now.
What was the reasoning, the benefit, the goal to do that?
I think for me, longevity, joint health. I'd love to be playing in this league for a long time. So just trying to stay as healthy as possible is kind of the main thing. To be honest, that's kind of it.
I know you skated with him a little bit in the summertime with Pete Aubry, just, first new different goalie coach here in almost a decade.
Yeah.
So kind of how's that gone and the process and really kind of your first camp with him? I know it's only one day.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Again, like ever since he's gotten hired, we've gotten on some calls and Zoom meetings. He's brought up a lot of good points with me, but I think the big thing is just us talking as human beings and talking about family. And he's a big family man, and yeah, he's just such a great guy to talk to. So super easy to have conversations about real world stuff and also about goaltending. So I find he's got a very, very high IQ. And yeah, he's given me a lot of fantastic advice that I'm taking and rolling with.
What's the difference for a goaltender with that difference in weight? Like maybe you take up a little bit less space, but get around a little faster. Like what's kind of the give and take between that decision?
Again, it was like I wasn't even thinking about that really. I was thinking more so again just joint health, but give and take. I'm still pretty big, so I'm not gonna be. I don't think you guys will notice that I'm smaller by any means. Maybe even bigger because I've been working out my upper body this summer, so I got bigger biceps now.
You have the same size equipment.
Same size equipment. Again, pecs and biceps, bigger.
Child of the suits. It's like a whole new set of suits.
I might have to actually. I put on a pair of shoes. It's funny you say that. I put on a pair of pants and I was like, I lost some waist size, so I might have to spend some money here.
How hard was it to drop that much weight? Because for a bigger guy, it's not easy.
Yeah, it was tough. I think more so just mentally. Physically, I felt better and better as my weight went down. So I feel like my body's I let my body kind of just reset and feel whatever size it feels that it's got to be at. And ever since I kind of got off some sugar and just really dialed in my fitness, and then my body likes being at 215, it seems.
Do you feel quicker at all on the ice? Like, is it noticeable at all?
I feel lighter. So maybe I feel a little bit faster, but just like lighter. So I just, I don't know if that really answers your question, but it's kind of a hard question to answer. So.
Talking to Pete, he had mentioned, when you want to work with a goal, it's not like he's going to come in here and change your whole style, right? There's small little tweaks. I know you've talked about this before, that aggression at certain times, right? If you take too much ice, then you got to cover more ice on cross ice passes, and then being more patient and maybe not coming out as much on rush chances. Is that, like, it's not a real big change. It's just more to be less aggressive. So is it more of a mindset than actual technique changes for you?
Yeah, I think it's just, smart, thinking about the game in a way that's best for myself personally, and he'll have different advice for Calvin depending on his style of game. So again, me and Cal are very different goalies, different styles. So I would imagine that's the fun part for Peter, is that he gets to look at two different guys and, really look into us in a deeper way and say, what does he need and what does he need? So I think he's, for me personally, I just feel like the advice that he's given me and the input he's given to me has been very personalized, and I've appreciated that very much.
Stan mentioned yesterday, he feels like there's a bit of a different vibe around the team this year compared to a year ago. Can you kind of comment about that? Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. I think if you ask everybody that question, they'll say the same thing. It just feels like really light. We're just having a good time, and already we've been really enjoying each other's company, hanging out with each other a lot. So I think the vibe right now is just light, and we're just really excited to be back. And I think in the past summer, because of situations, you come in and depending on the summer, you could be tired or, excited, and, your game one, you feel like you got to win the Stanley Cup. And this year I feel like everyone coming in, we're just ready to rock and roll, and everyone's really, really excited to get going.
Does that come down to experience? Like, you go to a final, then you go to another one, you know what it's like.
I think for sure. Yeah. Once you do something once, when you do it again, it's a completely different experience because you've gone through it once. Me having the first kid versus the second kid, completely different, just because you kind of, first one, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Second one, you're like, let's go home. We're good to go.
Serious business trying to get to a Stanley Cup final again, and tough. But, if you can take a little bit of the weight off mentally as a group, maybe lighten it up a little bit. Like, will that pay dividends, you think, maybe late in the season or in a playoff run? Like, can it accumulate in a good way?
I think so, for sure. Again, having a little bit of lightness, especially right now, it's a long season, right? We got a long way to go here going to the playoffs, going into halfway through the season. Like, we got day one. You know, we got a long ways to go. So we're that's definitely I think it's gonna be a very positive impact.
You often said that the number that matters to you is wins. Did you look or do you look at your numbers from last year? They weren't as good as the year before.
Oh yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I did notice. It certainly wasn't as good.
That give you something to build on this year. How do you look?
For sure, yeah. I think looking at it, I tend to look at that stuff when everything's over. So I looked over it pretty quickly, and it's just something for me to build upon. Looking at it from last year and looking on this year, it's actually super exciting to look at that because it just gives me a really good opportunity to kick some butt and make sure that those numbers are higher. But again, just like what you said, the number that I want higher is the win column.
I know you're not that big on proving yourself to everybody. That's not your style. You've been to 2 cups in a row, and there's people still questioning the goaltending on this team. How's that work?
Everyone's got an opinion. Looking back, it's been pretty incredible. Obviously, Calder, All-Star, Stanley Cup, but haven't won. So people in this town want to win. They want to see the Stanley Cup on a truck at the end of the year.
I want to see a Stanley Cup on a truck at the end of the year. Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, right? Whether it's in the, on a parade, the cup in the back, who knows? Maybe have a double-decker bus. But there would be a lot of makeshift cups roaming around in a few different trucks. Right? I think there'd be a lot of Ford trucks, or a lot of good GMCs, right? With your and how many of you, if they won, would have your own makeshift cup? Oh man, I would put that number fairly high. Now, maybe some people aren't skilled enough to make a cup. I'll raise my hand. There's no chance, like paper mache or however you're going to do it, would not be my forte. But I know there are some very skilled people out there who could make one. And I remember even last year there was a try. I think I actually got a picture of it in my phone that I'll have to tweet it out. I took it. It was in the parking lot in St. Albert. And it was a small truck, but they had this like mini little trailer that was maybe 2 feet that they had put on the hitch of their truck, with the wheels on it. And it had like a makeshift Stanley Cup on the back. And I'm like, see, there's the dedication. So Stuart Skinner's not wrong. People would like to see a cup in the back of a truck. It's very simple, but it's very true. We'll get more. We got Mangiapane coming up. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Got a lot of texts to get to, 833-401-1440. But when we return, we're going to talk about, this might be, you thought you would have a strong debate over McDavid. Well, we might have a debate that will go even stronger next on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Sports 1440 is your front row seat to the wild world of sports. Local legends, national headlines, and everything in between. Your game, your station. This is Sports 1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah, can I get a... yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning.
searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie, now at McDonald's.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Imagine a busy classroom. Now imagine it if no one was willing to teach. Here's the reality. It's getting harder to keep teachers in the profession and to attract new people to an increasingly challenging job. Pay for teachers has fallen far behind inflation and cost of living. With fair wages, we can keep the ones we have and hire more. But we need the provincial government to step up. Because a fair deal for teachers is a good deal for kids. A message from the Alberta Teachers Association.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters, and we do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$247. Welcome back. So here's my question of the day with the news on Zach Hyman, folks. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live at Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, sports 1440 YouTube, X, and Instagram. We're a lot of places. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. The news official, Zach Hyman, out until November. So 12 games in October. There's 3 games in the first 4 days of November. So it looks like probably 15 games without Hyman. Let's just say, you know what? You'd rather have 15 games in October and November than 15 games in the playoffs. So, it's not ideal, but just give some guys opportunities. Hyman spoke yesterday. He was in a really good mood. Feels like, he's trending. Everything's on track. So he'll just need a little bit more time to recover. They're obviously not going to rush him back from wrist injury. So it's a good sign. Hey, that means there's going to be a right wing spot open on the top line. There's going to be a net front presence on the first unit power play. So that's my question for you. Who do you think is the best option for the net front presence on the Oilers power play now that Hyman is gone? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Let us know. As we get to Thirsty Thursday, this might cause some infighting. We're going to see what's going to happen here. It's brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, 2 locations, the best place in the city. If you want cocktails, beer, wine from any part of the world, or maybe you're like, you know what? I just want some non-alcoholic beer, cocktails. They got it all. Unbelievable selection. South Side on 50th Street, 92nd Ave, or of course the original location on St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue. That is Sherbrooke Liquor. And our man, Stephen Bazan, joins us once again from Shurik, sporting the big beard. Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Getting it ready for the fall here.
Yeah.
Fall winter beard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, letting it go.
I like it. So this is something I know this is more like coffee drinker thing. This is a debate because I see some people get really fired up about this really positively. Others are like, oh my God, this is an eye roll. This is terrible. And I'm talking about, of course, pumpkin spice latte. It seems to be a big thing. Everybody loves the pumpkin spice. So today we're actually doing pumpkin beer. Are you kidding me?
Pumpkin spice beer. We're going for it, man. And you say the controversy with coffee drinkers. It's man, it's nothing compared to craft beer fans. Like the polarizing aspect of these pumpkin spice beers, people get fired up.
Really?
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's every year we just get inundated with all these new pumpkin spice beers. There's always, you know, a core group that have been around for years and years, but there's always new ones coming out every year. So for a little bit towards the end of September and into October, our beer cooler is just overrun with these pumpkin spice beers. So I thought I would share some with you today and talk about it.
All right. So where are we going first?
So first one, we're going with the classic. This is from Alley Cat. So local craft beer pioneers. Interesting with this one. So this is the pumpkin pie ale. The first time they did this, we're going back a couple decades, like over 20 years ago. And actually the first time they did it, it was a Sherbrooke exclusive. It was only sold at Sherbrooke.
All right.
Probably because we're the only ones that, you know, crazy enough to take on a
try
pumpkin
it.
spice
Okay.
back 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a staple for the style ever since. So you'll notice, like, let's take it seriously. Let's, you know, when you're tasting beer, you want to look at the appearance. Yeah, you got it.
okay.
Yeah, you got the right one there. So yeah, take a look. It's got like a nice golden amber color. It's a little clear. You want to nose it a little bit. Keep that mouth open when you're smelling. You get the full experience.
I'm curious of how many of our listeners now, when you try a beer, be honest, when you take the smell, do you smell with your mouth open just to see the difference? Because I'm telling you, it's a massive difference. Ever since you gave us that little trick on here, it's like, because I was with some buddies and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, dude, that's how you taste the beer better."
It's a little awkward at first. Take some practice. but-
Totally. They're like, "Get out of here!" I said, "Well,
Yeah.
just do it." And then they're like, you know. Well, yeah, it's actually true, but I don't want to admit you're right. So they was like, I can't tell the difference. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah. So are you a pumpkin spice fan in
Well,
general?
I don't drink coffee.
You don't
or
drink
latte.
coffee.
I love
yeah.
pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's kind of what the goal is mostly with
Like
the
that
pumpkin
one,
beers.
that one's not overly pumpkin-y for me. Like it's not like it's subtle. I find it like it is pumpkin spice. Like obviously I know what spice tastes like. So I can, it tastes more like a little bit of a pumpkin spice than more of like overly pumpkin-y.
Totally. And that's usually what the breweries are going for. Like most of these, they actually use pumpkin, whether it's pumpkin puree or roasted pumpkin in the recipe.
Yeah.
But for me, it's always about the spice. So you get, you know, your cinnamon, your nutmeg, allspice, all that sort of thing. So it's kind of, they're going for a pumpkin pie in a glass sort of thing. And you notice that this one isn't overly sweet. It has a nice dry finish. I think a lot of, sort of the controversy that happens. A lot of people don't like sweeter beers. So if you're a craft beer purist, you might veer away from some of these styles because, you know, it's not traditional or it's a little bit cloying, but this one's really nice and balanced, I feel like. So it's kind of the, you know, the benchmark, the foundation of the pumpkin spice beers, in my opinion. So it's a good place to start out if you're looking to dive into it.
All right.
Okay. So are you ready for a beer number 2? It's from Born Brewing out of Calgary, and this is their Harvest Moon Pumpkin Ale. And we'll do two side by side here. So the first one is just their classic pumpkin ale, which you'll notice again, you get tons of those spices on the nose.
Yeah.
This one, maybe you pick up
that one has the spice like a little bit aftertaste on your tongue.
I was gonna say as soon as you swallow, you notice that. And cloves, to me, it's like cloves all day long. You get more of the cinnamon and nutmeg on the Alley Cat one, but this one is pretty heavy on the cloves, in my opinion.
You're right. That's very accurate.
So it's kind of you get richer spices to it. The Alley Cat one's a little brighter. And the third one there that you taste, it's the Harvest Moon, but it's aged in bourbon barrels.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, this one tastes a little whiskey to me.
Yeah, you get some of that wood, some of the oak, like a touch of vanilla. So it's the exact same base beer, but it just goes through.
That one, that would be my preference.
You like that one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
like that,
totally.
just that kind of late delay on taste of a little bit of what I find it's a little bit richer.
Yeah, it's richer. Yeah, you get a lot more complexity to it, a lot more depth. You do see that's a fairly common thing too for breweries to do, is to age their pumpkin beers in barrels, whether it's ex-rum barrels. I've seen those before, ex-bourbon barrels. It goes really well with the spices and the different flavors. So I think they did a great job with that one.
Yeah, that one actually is good. I'm going to give them thumbs up for that one.
Okay, you're going to hate the next one.
I'm going to hate it. I like your honesty.
I know you don't like coffee. So
Yeah.
this one, like you'll notice the can.
See, it's the smell.
You'll notice the can.
The smell
They are not subtle about this. So this is Red Heart Brewing out of Red Deer.
Like,
and
what is it? It looks
like I won't. It's a popular coffee chain.
Yeah.
It looks exactly
starts with
like
an S.
Starts with an. You could tell
ends
if
with
you
a
see
K.
it. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it right there. But
Yeah.
they lean into that coffee.
I can't
aspect.
honestly, like, the smell of coffee is my worst. Like,
Yeah.
oh god.
So you don't drink it at all, hey?
No,
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Yeah. So this one, they do add coffee to it. They add a lot of roasted malts.
Yeah, like don't
if you like coffee,
if you like, I'm sure coffee people will be like that. Literally is like coffee in a beer can.
They actually.
Oh my
they
god!
nailed that.
For a guy who doesn't like coffee, that hits right on.
See, this is why it's
Coffee
so
drinkers are
polarizing.
probably gonna love it though.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they really nail that, like the pumpkin spice latte aspect of it. It's what they're going for, and I think they really do achieve that. So it's no secret what they're going for. So if that's what you're into,
coffee
you
drinkers,
you're gonna love it.
you can't. Don't ask me because obviously no.
No, it is tasty. So the last beer in the lineup we have, it's a Paranormal Imperial Pumpkin Ale from Flying Monkeys out of Barrie, Ontario. So the previous four were all local Alberta breweries, but now we're going to Ontario for this one. So this is kind of my favorite sub style of pumpkin beers. There's a whole bunch of different sub styles, but this is an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. So it's going to be a lot higher alcohol. Whenever you see Imperial in front of a beer style, you can expect that it's going to be a lot higher alcohol.
But this one smells unreal.
This one,
oh,
and those are the pumpkin beers I like. The ones are 9, 10, 11%. It is.
Oh, that is such a unique taste.
Yeah, and just kind of swirl it around in your glass there, and just see, like, you could just see the texture to it. You could tell it's a lot thicker than the other ones.
Which one's that one?
So this is the Flying Monkeys Paranormal Imperial Pumpkin Ale.
Wow, just for the can alone, I'm
and that's what Flying Monkeys is all about. You'll see as soon as you walk into the cooler, you'll spot a Flying Monkeys can right away.
Yeah, no, this is unreal. Anybody who's watching it, like, look at that can, man, just for the enjoyment. Oh
man, like you can almost taste the whipped cream too on the pumpkin pie, like the crust.
Yes,
the
no, this one is definitely like, I love this one. Has the most obvious pumpkin taste for me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and
but the underlying whipped cream, that's a good.
Yeah, it's something about it being higher alcohol, a little more texture to it, a little more substance. I just feel plays really well with the spices and lends itself well. So these are the ones that I'm going for this time of year.
And what do you got last year?
Okay, this is our debut here so we went through 5 different beers, but now we have a pumpkin wine. So in the past, pumpkin wine. Mad Pumpkin.
Oh my god, that can't. Come on, man. People drink that stuff.
This is the first. It's been in our market for a couple years. This is the first year we took the chance on it and brought it in. It literally just came on a pallet this morning. I haven't tasted it. This will be our live debut. You'll get a live reaction of what we think here. So I'll just pour you a little bit. So yeah, this man farms out of Abbotsford. They're known for their fruit wines. So they do a lot of like raspberry wine or strawberry wine, that sort of thing, but they become known for this Mad Pumpkin spiced wine. So it's actually made with pumpkins. That's the base of it, and they have their blend of spices.
It's actually pretty sweet. Like I could see the young kid. That reminds me, honestly, that would be like, hey, remember when I was going? I don't know if they do that anymore. Kids don't. Hey, kids are listening. We're not promoting this. I'm just telling you a story of something that used to occur. Maybe
of course.
in the parking lot of your vehicle before you go into the dance. And you might chug a certain beverage or two. I could see this one being very chuggable.
It is like, it's got on the nose, especially, it's got like this juicy sort of acidity to it. It's quite sweet. It's quite sweet.
You know what? I'm telling you, for anybody in the neighborhood where you're at, for, you know what, when you have all the kids, if you had like Mad Pumpkin wine glasses out, the trick-or-treating parents, because I know that's become a trend now lately for Halloween, for trick-or-treats. You got a little something for the kid. Hey, you want a little shot here, there?
Bailey's
I
or
can see the Mad Pumpkin.
It's nice, and you could probably heat this one up too. Like
I was just going to say, like, you could warm this up very easily. It feels like a little warmth to it when you drink it.
Yeah, totally. Like, let's look at the alcohol percentage here. Yeah, it's probably 11%. And yeah, it's got like a little bit of a bright acidity to it, which sort of balances out a little bit, but It is sweet. Yeah, nice round flavor. I like it. I mean, I'm partial to all the pumpkin spice stuff myself. A lot of my, hardcore craft beer friends will make fun of me this time of year how much I do like the pumpkin beers, but I don't care. You gotta like what you like, and
that's
and
true.
go for it. Yeah.
That's true, man. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. So
we do have. So this is just kind of scratching the surface of what we do have at Sherbrooke. So we do these mixed 6-packs every year called the Sherbrooke Pumpkin Patch. And it's 6 different pumpkin beers, one of each. And the selection is always rotating, like from now until Halloween, because there's so many.
There's that many pumpkin beers.
Yeah. Like it usually get up to about 20. And the thing is, they come and go so quickly. So
I could strongly recommend all the coffee drinkers. I can't ban. We always said we'd be authentic on this one. Like but I don't like coffee, so I'm probably the worst person to ask for that.
Yeah,
that was and you knew it right in. Like you called it. You were bang on. Greg, you're gonna hate this one, and you were correct. You were correct.
That's fine. Yeah. That's totally fine. Yeah. But that paranormal one, that Imperial Pumpkin one, that's probably my personal favorite. We have a few other ones in that style. So, but yeah, you gotta check it out. It's pumpkin spice season, man. Get into it. It's everywhere.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much. So it's available now at Sherbrooke.
Yeah, all these are available. We have our pumpkin patches are being made right now. It won't be this exact selection, so there'll be, I think, 3 out of these 5 are in this first iteration of the pack, and you'll have
and then it switches up kind of every week.
It switches up depending what's available, because people just.
What about the Mad Pumpkin wine?
Mad Pumpkin wine, we just got a case in. It's half of it's going to our Otwell location, half of it's at the original location right now, and then Otwell's getting their own case tomorrow. So,
well, you wine drinkers, something tells me that'll be sold out pretty quickly. Steve, as always, buddy. Thanks, man. Cool. Oh, quickly, who would be your net front present choice with Hyman on the shelf for a month?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot here.
Yeah. So I'll give you the options.
Give me some options.
There's Henrik, there's Frederick, there's Tomasic, there's Podkolzin, there's Kapanen. I guess Howard, Savoy. I'm not sure if those guys are net fronts, but those would be the options.
Yeah. Kapanen's my gut, man. I don't know. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting.
We'll put a vote for Kasperi Kapanen, who scored some huge goals in the postseason he'll get some for Edmonton. Obviously, the OT winner being one of his biggest ones for sure. Awesome stuff, man. Thanks.
Cool, man. My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, there you go. That's another edition of Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. You want to work for a fantastic company, very competitive wage. You get hiring bonus. You also get RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply today at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch told the media today that forward Zach Hyman likely won't return to the lineup until early November. Hyman was injured in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final in the collision with then Dallas Stars forward Mason Marchment, causing a dislocated wrist that did require surgery. Week 3 in the NFL kicks off tonight out at Orchard Park with the Bills hosting the Dolphins. Kickoff 6:15. Major League Baseball, Jays fall to the Rays 4-0 earlier today. They'll be back in action over the weekend, kicking off a series in Kansas City. Elsewhere, Athletics over the Red Sox 5-3. Those Royals fell to the Mariners 2-0. Mets get past the Padres 6-1. It was the Guardians over the Tigers by a score of 3-1. Right now, the Marlins have a 6-3 lead over the Rockies in the bottom of the 7th. In the WNBA tonight, 2 playoff games, Dream and Fever at 5:30. At 7:30, the Storm in Vegas take on the Aces. Both of those series tied at a game apiece. In college football tonight, Charlotte taking on Rice. Kickoff 5:30 from Jerry Richardson Stadium in North Carolina. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host and former NHLer Terry Ryan. We'll hear from Mark Spector, Ryan Diardo from CBS Sports, and Colin Livingston in the Cantork Racing Report. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got booster balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate booster ball, peppermint cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No. Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
Our legendary
Thanks.
employee
Cool,
pricing
man.
has
My
been held
pleasure.
over
Thank you.
into September. So if you just got back from summer vacation, you can still get the Ford you want with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Hey, did you hear what happened to Aiden? Oh, yeah, it's heartbreaking. Everyone knew this could happen. They've been posting those street races. for
Day
months.
afternoon.
I know,
How
right? Now his best friend is in the ICU. His family is devastated. All for some likes.
Totally wasn't worth it.
Street racing is deadly. Stop
CA,
it
get in the
before it stops you. A message from the government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
just after 3 o'clock. Go back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We always appreciate it. We'll have Andrew Mangiapane coming up a little bit later on as well. Of course, the big news, if you're joining us, Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province, PlayAlberta.ca. So even if you lose, you kind of win at PlayAlberta.ca. We got Terry Ryan, of course, first round draft pick, the National Hockey League, stars as Hitch in Shoresy. He's a mover and shaker, doing a lot of stuff, and joins us once again. TR, how you doing, my man? TR, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, buddy. I'm really good. This is going to be a special day for you because it's rare that you and Speck are on at the same time. But Speck has a tea time a little bit later on, and he's in a real spirited match, and his friends don't want to give him a free hole. They want him to get the usual hockey stick or snowman. So he's going to join us a little early today for the Speck Report. So you ready for that?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. Wonderful company, locally owned and operated, just celebrated 50 years, and they are always looking for great people who are looking not just for a job, but for a career. Check them out on Indeed.com at GS Construction. As we'll get to spec momentarily. Geez, the guy asked to switch times and then doesn't answer his phone. What a loser. Are you kidding me? Anyway, TR, quick, right off the hop here. The big news in Edmonton, of course, Zach Hyman. We didn't expect him to start the season. Now it's confirmed he's going to miss the entire month of October, which is 12 games, and probably the first 3 games in November, I would think, because they play on the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th. So that's 15 games of the season, and that's just going to be opportunity for someone else, right? Obviously, they'd like to have Hyman in there, but it's an opportunity for someone. My question is, when you look at the Oilers roster of other forwards, and we know that Nugent Hopkins, Drysdale, McDavid are on that first unit power play along with Evan Bouchard, but now there's an opening at the net front presence. It's a unique skill set. You got Frederick, you've got Kapanen, you got Podkolzin, you've got Adam Henrique. Matt Savoy, I don't think he fits in there. Ike Howard, I'm not really sure he's ever played that position, to be bluntly honest. I'm not sure. Right? Then you got big David. So I'm going to say, who do you think would be the first guy you'd want to give the look for the net front presence?
For the net front specifically, given the context around it all, I'd probably go with Frederick. Given the fact that he's done lots of it, he's a big guy that can take a bit of a beating and give one as well. And it seems to be, given his history, and I think he was squeezing his stick towards the end of last year and in the playoffs. But I think on a normal situation, he feels comfortable there. He looks comfortable there, and I think he'd be pretty good at it. The other guys you mentioned, I mean, sure, they might get a shot and it might work out, and they're very talented, and some of them obviously more talented. But I just that's where my instinct takes me, Frederick.
Okay. I'm going with Adam Henrique. 8-time, 20-goal scorer, really good around the net. And I think he's kind of the closest guy they have to Corey Perry and Hyman when I look at stylistic, right? And it just, to me, he has more proof. Frederick is not a bad choice. He might be the other guy who does it. But for me, it would be Frederick. Thomas Ek's my wild card because I've never seen him. I have no idea if he's ever played that position. But Henrique would be my first guy.
And I think, no, that's a good pick. And I've actually thought about each. Well, I think just 2 or 3 years ago, am I wrong? Didn't Frederick have close to 20 goals? I think
he had 17 and 18. Yeah,
17 and 18. And now in this environment, you'd think he'd flourish. And you wouldn't say it from the end of last season or the time that he spent in Boston at the beginning, I suppose. Because I'm looking now. 8 goals. I think he can get back there, and I think the Oilers. Now, I'm not pitting him against Henrique. I'm just commenting on Frederick because a lot of people were down when he signed the length of that contract. But I just think I know what they were thinking. I think there's a lot of potential there, and if things go well, there's no reason he doesn't get over 20. And I think he's a little more talented with his hands than we saw at the end of last season.
That's totally valid. When I look at a few other things, TR, the training camp, it's day one. There's excitement. I want to get your thoughts. You had to have played with someone. Like I watched Max Jones today in training camp, and I'm telling you, so he was in the session with McDavid, and he had, McDavid was centering a line, Nugent Hopkins was centering his own line, and had a lot of NHL guys, and then Jones was playing with Philp and Lazar. And, all guys, well, Philp hasn't played he has played the NHL, but he hasn't played very much. But Lazar's played a lot of games. Jones has played almost 300 games. Buddy, his skating, his size, his wrist shot, I'm just like, if you watch them, I'm like, I can see why this guy's a first-round pick. And he hasn't put it together in the NHL on a night-by-night basis. We saw it last year. He came in the first few games, you're like, holy cow, look at this guy. He's big and forechecking. And Oilers fans were excited. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, you're putting out an APB for him because he's on a milk carton too often. And that's why he bounces around. But when I look at his skill set, my God, you're like, this guy has a lot of the tools. Was there a player that you played with who had a lot of the tools in the toolbox, just didn't show them often enough?
One person, there's a lot, but there's one more than others. And I'm telling you right now, I practiced with this guy and played a little bit with him. And I could not believe his physique, his talent on the ice. He was pretty good. But I think the give a crap meter might have been down on most nights, but his name was Vladimir Malakhov. Now, I know he had good years anyway, and I guess some would consider it great. But for his talent and how big he was and how great he was and how skilled he was with the puck, this was incredible. I could not believe what I was seeing with my own eyes. People often ask me, who are the best players you ever played with? And I often just skip over that and I go because I compare it with game stats. But I'm telling you right now that guy was so incredibly talented, it left me speechless more than once. And it just, he never really, I don't even know, looking back, I'm sure he had pretty good stats, but I definitely know from playing with him that he never reached that full potential, because the full potential was multiple Norris trophies, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's funny you mentioned that name. That is a blast from the past. And he was highly skilled. Like, you know, Kovalev, to me, I've talked to so many guys. I had dinner with Rob Brown the other day, and he still believes that Kovalev's the most naturally skilled player. And he played with Lemieux. He played with the Tigers. Said Kovalev had the most skill he'd ever seen. It was unreal. But, you know, his give a bleep meter wasn't always running on high, right? Like Malakhov had everything. Big, could skate, could shoot, could really move the puck, and was mobile for a big guy. But just, you know what, didn't. And it's hard, right? Like I'm sure it's frustrating for players who have a real high, like the light bulb's on high all the time. They just don't have the skill, right? And then they see it and they're like, God, if I could have this guy's skill with my will, it'd be unreal. But it doesn't always work.
Unreal. I'm telling you right now, he was like 6'4", 6'5", like 230 pounds without an ounce of fat, man. It was wild. And just never, like I said, he had some good seasons. I bet you he had 800 games in, but it just like, yeah. And not only that, but I mean, I'm not talking out of school because this was public record. I think I remember during that time, I think I might've been down, but, you know, we're up and we're down a lot. And so we were always around the room. And even in the Fredericton Canadiens that year, we played like 10 games in Montreal. So it really, like, we were very hands-on. We had our finger on the pulse of everything that was going on in the room, and it felt like one big group, which was really awesome as a kid. But I remember at some point something happening that he was injured, but he was caught skiing in Mount Tremblant or coming down the hill. Yeah, so one of the fans took a picture. This ended up being huge news. And we were like, wow, like Vladdy's not practicing, but he's skiing down Mount Tremblant. And honestly, it doesn't take much to look for that. It's purely out of memory, but honestly, a quick Google search will take you there. And it was stuff like that. It just never seemed like he was fully engaged. But when we went out and did drills, like, this guy was clearly, like, if you were just a scout coming and you didn't know anything, you would immediately pick him out and say he's the best player on the ice immediately as soon as we put our skates on there.
Yeah, no, and that, honestly, when I saw Max Jones, like, after McDavid, he was the fastest player on the ice. God, he was flying, he was blowing by guys, and his wrist shot was really good. Now, you know, his passing obviously wasn't top notch, but I just looked and said, man, this guy, if he could figure out a way to just find the consistency, he'd be an every night player in the NHL. No question in my mind. Now, who knows? He's 27, TR. Maybe the switch gets hit, but something tells me it's hard, right? Like, it's hard to be consistent. I'm sure you'd be the first one to admit, like, you can have all the will and desire you want, but consistency is a lot of time between your ears.
Yeah, it really is. And lots of times it just takes the right person to come in and tweak it. I'll use the example, and Oilers fans, it was quick, but you'll probably remember the diehards, Danny Cleary playing there. Danny got drafted to Chicago, Phoenix, and he went Edmonton, and he just wasn't putting it together. And I mean, I know because Danny's my buddy. We literally, when I got scouted, that's the first thing my father said to Mike Barnett, who was Wayne Gretzky's agent that signed me. He stood at the door. I couldn't believe he was there in Quesnel, BC. Said, I'd love to sign your son. He'll be the youngest guy we ever signed. And my dad said, well, if you think Terry's good, you should go to Harbor Grace right now and check out Danny Cleary. And like 2 months later, he was up playing in Ontario, and the rest is history. But Danny, whether it was just that, it was the Malakhov thing. Like it was like one thing after another, and he'd be like 5 minutes late. Just get there early, you know, just look good at least and present yourself. And he didn't get a chance because of that in a lot of these places to really flourish. And he brought a lot of it on himself. But a lot of people are down on Mike Babcock for good reason. I'm just telling you that guy, and I'm sure Chelios, because he was working with Chelios and he might have been in Detroit. He used to go down in the summers. There were others, but Mike Babcock looked at him and said, if you just smarten up a little bit, then we can really use you. And we're an NHL contender, a Stanley Cup contender. And of course, he became the first Newfoundlander to ever win the cup with skates on. So I've seen it. It happens. And I don't know, Danny might have been 25. And when you see that kind of talent, a lot of times it just takes someone to believe in you and great leaders around. Now, if the Oilers have anything, it's that, right? If anything, it's that. So if you don't see Max Jones, I think, inspired and maybe evolved as a player this season, then it could be the make it or break it territory.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you. TR, maybe he's scared to back off. He was too scared to go toe to toe. We'll see what happened. But the Speckless Report brought to you by GS Construction. There you go. Coming up later on, we are going to hear from Mangiapane. We'll talk more about the Oilers and honestly the Zach Hyman news. That is pretty big news, and obviously there's some negativity towards it, no question, but it also opens up a few huge doors. Who's going to burst through them? We'll discuss it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wow. For Selly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Now save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department, like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
Just think, Kevin Karius has been covering Edmonton sports since before TikTok, Twitter, texting, and the Titanic. We may have made that last one up. Check out Karius in the mornings on Sports 1440. Your game, your station.
Mr. Rooter goes for a fall stroll.
Ah, the beauty of fall. These leaves are crunchier than that calcified shower head I replaced this morning. And the earthy yellow oranges and browns are as colorful as the wad of hair I pulled out of the shower drain.
Ugh, Mr. Rooter, can we talk about something else?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you didn't like fall. You look about as sour as the sewer line I unclogged yesterday.
For a plumber you'll truly fall for. Call Mr. Rooter.
Looking for an all-season vehicle with room for the hockey gear, comfort for the daily commute, and rugged capability for your weekend adventures? That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it during the biggest sale of the year this month at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep, it's a 4x4, and it's loaded with standard features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, keyless entry, and heated front seats, all starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Thursday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. Also, join us on our YouTube and X pages. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Hey, if you go to Sports 1440 YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Very much appreciate it. Of course, big news out of day one from the Oilers. It's official now. Zach Hyman will be out for the entire month of October. Be returning in November, which means minimum of 12 games, could be up to 15, maybe more, depending on what time he returns in November. The Oilers do play 3 games in the first 4 days of November, so could see him maybe return after those 15 games. And all that means is opportunity, baby. Opportunity for someone to play 5-on-5 regularly with McDavid and be the net front presence on the power play, which I wouldn't be shocked if you maybe see an Adam Henrique there. We shall see. That'd be my choice just because he's done it before. He's got a lot of goals. He's kind of the closest, similar style to a Corey Perry, right? Not the agitator, but just skill set around the net. But, you know, Frederick might get a look. Tomasic might get a look, right? Maybe they move things around. I'll say this, though, about Thomas Eck and his one-timer. As a right shot, the Oilers haven't had that. That could be a weapon, something to watch for sure. Now, let's get to our NFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Brian Diardo from CBS Sports joins us once again. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I actually have a little bit of an NHL report for you. Not as deep dive as the one I just listened to, but I'm a Penguin fan. I was reading their website. Apparently, Evgeny Malkin's open to playing 2 more years, but he's only under contract for 1 more year. So things might get a little messy in Pittsburgh. Let's just say that. So, but no, I'm sure you'd rather have me talk NFL. But yeah, it's just interesting when I read that.
Well, Brian, I'll tell you this: like Malkin, I've said it for over a year. The best thing for the Penguins and Sidney Crosby, as much as he's a legend in that town, they're not going anywhere. They're not making the playoffs. They haven't won a series since they won the Cup in 2017. It's move Sidney Crosby, get some pieces for the future, and away you go. Now, I get if he doesn't want to move, but if he says, "Yeah, I'm thinking about it," I would do it in a heartbeat. And I could see Malkin doing the same thing because, unfortunately, they're not turning back the clock and winning in Pittsburgh again.
Yeah, I think what's perplexing is in every city, it's like when Gretzky left in '89, Edmonton. It's just like it was shocking because that's just a legacy player, right? Like guys like that don't leave their team. So, and for Sidney, he's been in Pittsburgh for 20 years. And you look at the Pittsburgh icons: Mario Lemieux, the Joe Green, Roberto Clemente. Those guys were Pittsburgh athletes their entire professional careers. But I'm with you. I mean, my personal dream as a Columbus native would be for Malkin, Letang, Crosby to all get traded to Columbus, then I get to enjoy them here. But that's probably not going to happen, even though I can wish for it too.
All right. Let's get to first the Thursday nighter. And on paper, this looks like a blowout. The Bills are favored by 11.5. Now, good news for Miami. Waddle's going to play, but Miami looks just discombobulated right now, Brian. I don't see them suddenly turning the page tonight. Do you?
No, but I will say this. Every time in the NFL, you think you don't know. And so that's why I wouldn't be totally shocked if the Dolphins won this thing because, let's be honest, McDaniel's coaching for his job, right? And I think a lot of those players know, you can bounce back from 0-2. I don't know how many teams in NFL history have made the playoffs after an 0-3 start. Very, very few. So they basically know their season in a lot of ways is on the line tonight. they're very familiar with Buffalo. Let's go back a couple of years. McDaniel and the Dolphins almost beat the Bills in a wild card playoff game with Skylar Thompson as their quarterback. So they know the Bills. They're familiar with them. This is Buffalo in September, not Buffalo in October, November, December, or when it gets colder. So I certainly think that the Dolphins have a puncher's chance. And Tua is still a very capable quarterback. I mean, the biggest issue with beating the Bills now is James Cook has become one of the league's best running backs. So it's not like you can just contain Josh Allen. You're going to beat that team. Now they have that two-headed monster at quarterback and running back. So that's going to be the biggest issue there. But no, I do think that this will be a much closer game than the prognosticators think. I would take the under personally if I was going to bet on the point spread in this game. But I think it will be closer than people think.
All right. By the way, the Steelers, since I looked it up quickly as you were talking, since 2002, 96 teams have opened the season going 0-3. Only 3 of them made the playoffs. 2 of them being Mike Tomlin's Steelers back in 2013 and 2019. So you're telling me there's a chance, Brian, but not much of a chance. And I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So some other news around the NFL. The Chiefs are 0-2. And really, you talk about how one play can change a game. Even if Kelsey just drops the ball or doesn't deflect into the hands of the Eagles defender, they kick a field goal, it's a tie game. And, they didn't score any other points off of that touchdown to the Eagles. But, man, that one play really turned it around. And the Chiefs have never started 0-2 in the Patrick Mahomes era. What do you make of the Chiefs early on? And more importantly, their ability to bounce back in that division and catch the Chargers?
Yeah, it doesn't help that they're in that division, arguably one of the best in the league. So it's going to be hard for them. But I still am not going to write them out just yet because I've been really impressed with how Mahomes playing with virtually the worst receiving core and complementary weapons that he's ever had. And the one guy that he has, that he trusts, Travis Kelce, committed that gaffe that led to the momentum-changing play and the loss this past week to the Eagles. But, Xavier Worthy's going to be coming back. Rashae Rice at some point is going to come back from that suspension a few weeks down the road. So I think the pieces are going to be coming back, which is going to help that offense. That defense is still really good. I mean, held the Eagles to 102 passing yards. Saquon Barkley, a manageable 88 yards on 22 carries. That defense is still very good. The biggest concern to me, Jason, is the running game. Since Isaiah Pacheco got hurt last year, has not been the same player. He was a huge underrated reason why they won the back-to-back. Unless they get that running game up to snuff, do I think that the Chiefs are going to climb back and be competitive this year? Yes, but they won't win another Super Bowl or even sniff another Super Bowl until they get that running game figured out.
TR?
Brian, is Danny Dimes for real in Indy?
I mean, I think so. No, let me correct. Indiana Jones. That's what he's being called now. Down here.
Yeah, I like that.
I think, I'm usually more wrong than I am right. Ask my wife. She'll tell you that. But I thought that this would kind of work out the way it has when they signed him. Like, I thought that he could beat out Anthony Richardson and I think this is the biggest thing, and I don't know what other sport to compare it to, but I think quarterback more than any position in sports, your success is so predicated on what's around you, the coordinator, the head coach, your receivers, your running backs, your offensive line. And let's be honest, like when Daniel Jones, he didn't have a lot of good stuff around him the majority of his time in New York. When he got Saquon Barkley, when, they had some continuity with the coaching staff and the line, they went to the playoffs and won a playoff game. So, no, I think this will continue to be good. I don't know if it'll last all season. I think at some point defenses are going to start to figure out ways to beat him in this offense. But I do think that he's got certainly a chance to continue to be successful. Like this Colts team, I think is capable of winning 9 or 10 games, most likely 9. Jonathan Taylor, I think, is his biggest asset. I think he's reminding people, myself included, that he's a top 5 back in this league. And the division they're in is certainly winnable. But, as far as for real, I think for real in the sense that they're not going to go anywhere in terms of, they're not going to fall off a cliff and be 7-10 or anything like that. As long as health is still on their side, I think they're a 9-win team that'll certainly be around the playoff bubble when we get to Week 18.
In your opinion, is Tom Brady overstepping by wearing the head? He's commentating and then he's wearing the headset and hearing the play calls. Is there anything? Is that a faux pas?
Not if he doesn't want to be a broadcaster. I'm all for it. I mean, and I get the whole argument of like he's a capitalist and whatever, and he's earned this right. Like, to me, you could do a lot of different things. He could coach his son's football team and still be a minority owner. Like, to me, the two biggest career things that he's chosen post playing, they're too close to each other as far as being a conflict of interest. And so, like, to me, you know, I'm sure this is publicity. Well, I know the old saying, any publicity is good publicity, but I'm sure that the Fox producers and people there are not happy about this. Like, I think I saw one of their high ups literally asked about Brady and being conflict of interest this week, and he shut the question down. So, like, clearly Fox isn't happy about this. It hamstrings his ability to do his job there as a broadcaster. And yeah, I mean, it was weird seeing him like that in the press box like that. I mean, guys, to me, my 2 cents, it just seems like he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with his post-football career. And to me, this is very clear. You've got to, if you want to be the best broadcaster and make that part of your post-playing legacy, go that route. If you want to be a minority owner and help the Raiders win championships and do it in that capacity, go that route. Like, you didn't see Mario Lemieux, you know, also doing, you know, broadcasting for NBC when he was the Penguins owner. He was the Penguins owner. Like, this is where Tom Brady, in my opinion, the fork's in the road, and he needs to go right or he needs to go left.
Brian Diardo joins us talking all things NFL. And Brian, there's some interesting games. You mentioned the Chargers are hosting Denver this week. That's definitely a game. But then you have the game of the undefeateds. You got the Rams and the Eagles, but you also have Arizona and San Francisco. Who do you like in those games and why?
Well, if we could do so the first game you said was Arizona, the 49ers. My heart is going with the Eagles, my mind, or the Cardinals, and my mind is going with the 49ers. Like, I want to believe in Kyler Murray, and it's kind of crazy to me that Kyler Murray 4 or 5 years ago, like, he was a star. I mean, people were comparing him to Mahomes and all the other great quarterbacks. He's kind of fallen under the radar. So, like, to me, I think if you're going to win that game, if the Cardinals are going to make a statement as we're legit this season, they need to win this game, especially with the 49ers having Mac Jones and everything. So I'm going to go with my heart, not my head. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. And I'm going to blame my lack of memory right now on having a cold. The other battle between two undefeateds was
Philadelphia and the Rams.
That's right. Okay. I appreciate you bailing me out here. So I will go with Philly in this game. I'm going to go with Philly in this game because I love the versatility of their offense and their ability to win games in multiple ways now. Because you saw the Chiefs in this past game, you know, after neutralizing Saquon in the Super Bowl, they switched it up this time around and tried to stop Hurts. And they had more success, but they still lost the game. So I still think in general it comes down to Hurts is still a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford. The Eagles need to try to get pressure on him, and they need to make Kyren Williams a non-factor. But I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the Cardinals, and I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to go with the two birds to remain undefeated this weekend.
Awesome stuff, Brian. Do you have, if you look at any of the other matchups around the league, like, whether it's Vegas and Washington, Indianapolis Colts, like they should absolutely blow out, I would think, Tennessee, who's yet to look good. They don't really look good. But the other matchup that I do want to ask before we let you go is the Monday nighter, Detroit and Baltimore. You got two teams that are one, and they're two very good teams. Detroit was a little sluggish in week one, but man, their offense looked like it was last year again. And obviously the Ravens are the Ravens. What do you make of that one? And where are you on the Detroit Lions overall?
So I like the Ravens in that game. I think that Lamar Jackson is going to put on a show. This is something that kind of was under the radar here in the States. This past weekend, Lamar Jackson moved past Aaron Rodgers with the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback ever. So much for just being a mobile quarterback, right? Running quarterback. Like, that's amazing. And I think he's going to put on a show. I think the Ravens are overall a more balanced team. And I think Derrick Henry is chomping at the bit to have a big game after rushing for just 22 yards this past week against Cleveland. But I think the Lions are a good team that are still figuring things out. Like, I think their defense isn't as strong as it's been in recent years, even though they weren't that great last year. To your point, they bounced back against not a very good Bears team and put a clinic on them, especially on offense with over 50 points. But I still think they're an offense that's still figuring themselves out. To me, as long as Montgomery and Gibbs are healthy, which wasn't the case late last year, this is still a team that is a force to be reckoned with in the NFC. Like, and now the 49ers again dealing with injuries, the Vikings with their injury to McCarthy. You know, the Lions are still maybe the biggest threat outside. They're probably still the third best team in the NFC, in my opinion, like behind Green Bay and behind Philadelphia. I think they're the third best team. So have they slipped a little bit? Yeah. But are they still one of the top 3 teams in the NFC? Yeah. And even if they lose this game and they're 1-2 after 3 games, I don't look at that really as an indictment. I still think that the Lions are a very, very good team.
Awesome stuff, Brian. We appreciate it, man. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
That's Brian Diardo from CBS Sports talking NFL. Thursday nighter tonight has the Dolphins take it on the Buffalo Bills. Play Alberta has it 11.5-point favorites for the Bills. Doesn't look like it'll be an overly tight game. I know TR, you like to dabble in that. Do you like the Bills in the under or the over, or is that just too much of a spread?
I would have thought Bills for sure hammer that. I just think, especially looking at the records and the confidence, and there's a lot of different avenues that would lead you there. So I was kind of surprised to hear Brian say that it would possibly be closer. Miami could win. And again, there's the intricate specifics of football that I don't understand, because I'm looking at this as somewhat educated, but a newbie kind of fan. And I don't even see how you could come up with that. To me, it's going to be a blowout.
Wow. Yeah. So you're taking the Bills is what you're saying. I like it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 2 touchdowns is 14 points. Now, I mean, again, maybe I'll eat, but I don't think a lot of people are putting their faith in Miami. I could be wrong, but then I hear the most educated guy that I've come across talk about it. I mean, this isn't noon hour hockey. He's employed to talk about the NFL. So now I'm kind of second guessing myself. But I've already picked Buffalo, so it doesn't matter.
Stick with us. All right. When we return, we'll talk about drinking coffee, beer, gross. But also we'll speed things up with Livingston and the Race Report on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. And we got a lot of talk. Jason Smith's coming up in the second hour. Of course, the Oil Kings get set to start their season tomorrow. Zach Hyman out for the entire month of October, and we don't know when he'll return in November, but at some point, according to head coach Chris Knobloch. So, opportunity knocks for lots of people on the first line right wing, the net front presence on the power play, and we'll talk about that and more on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, you can save $50 off tire storage with the purchase of 4 select tires now until September 30th at participating locations.
Okay.
Or you could squeeze them into your backseat, possibly causing upholstery damage, drive them home, struggle, sweating buckets trying to get them out of your vehicle, resulting in you feeling guilty for not going to the gym more often, or at all. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Totally up to you.
Definitely $50 off the tire storage.
You got it. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
A new Edmonton Oil Kings season hits different.
After a cruel summer, hockey is back at Rogers Place. This Saturday at 4, it's the Oil Kings home opener against the Red Deer Rebels.
Family fun that's second to none with Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Shake it off with a post-game concert from Canada's #1 Swiftie tribute artist, plus bracelet making on the concourse.
The Edmonton Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment. Home openers Saturday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Common thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold to the vents, start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Yeah, can I get a...
yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie, now at McDonald's.
Listen up, because we're about to tell you what nobody else will. There's a serious problem in auto service. The price you expect is almost never the price you pay. Big Toy Shop tells it like it is. No BS, no false inflated bill. It's just the honest service you need, done quickly and done well at a price that doesn't make you feel like a chump. Take your ride to Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road. Call 780-298-2797.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at cfr.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through a busy Thursday afternoon. Things are flying by, man. The Jays already lost today. How about the Cleveland Guardians? And how about the local boy, friend of the show, Eric Zimbrowski, who another outstanding performance by him. Man, in his last 7 appearances, which he's pitched over 7 innings, he's allowed 1 hit. That's it. No runs. 1 hit. Guy's been absolutely on fire. And how many Ks has he made in that time? I got to look it up, but it's quite a few. He's been great. They have won, of course, all 7 of those games. So he's contributed in all of them, pitching very well. And the Guardians are suddenly right in the race, man. They win again today. They're a game and a half back of the Boston Red Sox. So we'll see. And Zabrowski, of course, who started, he was injured to start the season, but man, since he's come back, he leads them. He's got the best ERA amongst any Cleveland pitcher this season. So awesome stuff to see. Now let's get to the racing report brought to you by Cantork, the best way to beat tariffs by Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but they're built right here in the City of Champions. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, as we welcome in Colin Livingston, who is a coffee drinker, and you're approving of the Sherbrooke coffee pumpkin beer, aren't you?
Yeah, hell yes. I mean, I'm not, again, really a beer drinker. I love it. It just doesn't love me, so I stay away from it. If it's a hot summer day, a beer like every couple of months is about all I can do without running into some problems with gout. But that tastes great. I give it 2 thumbs up.
All right. See, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'll take your word for it. Let's start in F1. We'll get to some NASCAR stuff. F1, it looks like they're going to push back their V8 engine until 2031 because they want to allow a full 5-year cycle for the rules. So that's interesting. But you got Baku this weekend in Azerbaijan. Might be a little bit wet. You've got some late night, early morning, depending for the diehards. But the rumors are starting now in F1, and there's Antonelli, and there's some talk maybe him departing Mercedes. They're talking about Albon and Sainz, who do have more experience than him for sure. But where Mercedes is at, would giving up on Antonelli after 1 year be a mistake?
Well, if the rumors actually play out, and these are, less than 20% success rates. If my guess would be if Antonelli does get demoted, he would move back to Williams, which is in theory a junior team for Mercedes. They run the Mercedes engine. They run a lot of Mercedes components. they would be able to move Albon or Sainz into that seat, even for the short term, another year or two, just to give him time to cut his teeth, just like they did with George Russell. Russell was there like 3-4 years before they moved him up. And now, he was ready when he got that call up to the big team, and he's done well. Antonelli, I don't know. I'm kind of torn myself because they went into this at the beginning of the season saying, listen, we're not expecting a lot out of, his rookie year. We expect him to make mistakes. We expect him to struggle, and we're prepared for it. So, it's interesting, but when there's this many sources and this many different entities start parroting each other, sometimes these rumors can build, their own momentum. So I don't think it's out of the realm of reality, but if he does get slid back, like we've seen with some of the guys in the Red Bull program, I don't think that's the end of his F1 career. I think he would just go back for a period of time, kind of get a little bit more comfortable, and then move back to one of the big seats.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda has not had the success he's wanted in Red Bull. I think that's been obvious, which means now there's, Hadjar, who's had a pretty good year. There's lots of rumors about him going there. That's I could see that. Like Red Bull, obviously one of the top teams. They're basically driving with one driver right now. It hasn't worked with Yuki. That to me would seem like an obvious one, but there are some other candidates to move. But Red Bull, I think it's fair to say they're going to have a new second driver.
More than anything, because Honda's leaving their program this year, and Honda really underwrites a lot of Yuki's contract. So, Red Bull is starting their own powertrain program in partnership with Ford for next year. They will definitely want to focus on their own drivers, but that seat has been, a hot potato. I mean, since Perez left, not that long ago, they've had Liam Lawson in there. Now they've had Yuki. Nobody's really had that success. And it almost seems like it's a demotion right now to go up there, but starting next year, it's a totally different car, totally different regulation. So nobody knows what car anybody's going to have. So it's not the death sentence that it would be if you moved up there right now.
TR.
Colin,
what's going on, buddy?
Thank you again. It's been a while. I tell you this, man, I needed to update myself and really educate myself a little bit on car racing, because we have you on and I didn't know anything about it. So I watched the first season of that F1 series. And I'm fascinated, to say the least, the way everything works, the behind the scenes, meeting the families, and then the big companies, big budgets versus small, and so much goes into it. And without being and I'm very intrigued, without being hands-on, in hockey, they say in Shorzy, we say, let's go set the tone.
Yeah.
How would you do that in car racing?
So every series is a bit different, but like if we're talking about F1, for example, when that gets dropped in Shorzy, obviously it's a classic line. You got to set the tone, means you got to come out, you've got to be skating, you've got to be hitting, and you maybe have to, pick a fight just to make sure the other team knows that you're on the ice. In Formula One, that would mean on the start, you've got to be a little bit more aggressive. You can't just lay back and wait for the chaos to clear through the first couple of corners and then go race, because instead of being in, 8th, potentially in 5th place, you could drop back to 14th and then you spend your whole race catching up. So you have to be aggressive, but at the same time, you have to be smart. It doesn't make any sense to go flying into turn 1 where there's already cars, there's no room, and you get into an accident, you end up upside down and your race is over. So, that would probably be the simile. The other series, like if we're talking about what we do in, say, NASCAR, you kind of have to do it the opposite way, because our tires don't last all that long and the car and the brakes can get really hot. So if you're too aggressive all the time from the start of the race, as you get towards the end of the race, you don't have any grip left in your tires, your brakes are shot, and you're kind of holding on for dear life. So, setting the tone in a NASCAR Canada race would be more like kind of finding a nice gap that you can run, make sure you're managing your stuff so that in the last, 15, 20, 30 laps, you can go fight for a win.
Interesting. Well, you know, that doesn't surprise me, but it's just so intense watching that there's a lot going on. So I wasn't really sure about that. By extension, Colin, I'm sure people play through injuries and pain. I mean, there you go. Hockey players, it's almost a rite of passage, you know, to get an injury and play through it. You know, I'm sure that must happen, or no.
Oh, absolutely. You know, specifically, my best experience and my better knowledge is in the open wheel stuff, like what Tag used to do in IndyCar. Because their contracts in, you know, I mean, that's very high level professional racing, but those contracts are so heavily weighted towards the teams versus the drivers. Drivers are really reluctant to ever mention that they have an issue. Like, you could have, you know, a cracked rib, you could have, you know, sprains, you could have dislocations, you could have all kinds of things. The driver's going to keep showing up to the race until they're physically pulled out, because they know, and there's 100 examples of drivers who got hurt, got replaced. The replacement either comes in for less money or has a better sponsor or has better results. And then all of a sudden, the main driver is on the sidelines. We saw it play out last year with my old friend David Malukas, who was racing with Dale Coyne, one of the lower budget teams, got promoted, got hired by McLaren. Before the first race in St. Petersburg, he broke his wrist in a mountain biking incident, was on the sidelines for the first few races, and the replacement driver that they put in there, Nolan Siegel, they were happier with him, and they just chose to terminate Malukas's contract even before he turned a lap for the team. So drivers are really, really reluctant to ever speak up. It's, you know, it's kind of like old school football, where, you know, you don't mention concussions and all the rest of it, because you know that you'll be put on the sidelines pretty quick. But there's more emphasis, you know, it's evolving a bit, but still nowhere near where it needs to be.
I'm moving to a NASCAR Canada, and saw a clip like it. There at times seems where guys want to race, and then eventually it's like, well, you know what, I got to take some guy out, and that has to be part of racing. And that really wasn't the case this past weekend. You had two unbelievable finishes, and now DJ Kennington came second in both, but he still got a lot of points, and now he's 14 points away from the title.
Yep.
But why don't we see more of the racing like that?
I always get into this level of discussion knowing that there's the potential that someone from the NASCAR world, whether it's someone in NASCAR Canada or, you know, being relayed back to somewhere in NASCAR Daytona or Charlotte. So I always try and protect myself and not say exactly what I'm thinking. But the blunt and simple truth is, the reason why we had such great racing last weekend at Delaware between Donald Teague and DJ Kennington was because they're good guys and they're really hard racers. DJ grew up at that track at Delaware. Teague has raced his entire life. He's, you know, one of the best oval racers in Canada. They made incidental contact. It was enough that DJ got pissed off and he kind of voiced his displeasure after the first race, but nobody got wrecked. Nobody got crashed. They were able to get their cars out for the second race, but they're both decent human beings. They're both really good, really experienced racers. And they were also willing to accept that second isn't the worst thing in the world. For DJ, like you mentioned, he's in the championship.
Yeah.
Had he tried to make a move and got penalized, or the move failed, his championship would have been over. You know, unfortunately, we see it more on the road courses, but there are a handful of drivers, and if you watch the series, you know who I'm talking about, who, I was really going to say a bad word, who really don't care if they destroy somebody else's race. If they see that there's a win there, they'll right hook somebody, they'll do a hard bumper, like on an oval, they'll drive into the guy's bumper, get him loose, like where he's got to, you know, regain control. They drive ahead. There's not enough time to recover. They get the win. Canadian Tire, the road course this year, same driver both times, you know, took out Gary Clute to turn 3, came into him so hard he locked up the front brakes, smoke pouring off the car, drills him, knocks him off track. He gets the win. Did the same thing a couple weeks ago when we were there to Sam Fellows. Why does it happen? Because NASCAR rarely, if ever, penalizes it. So what NASCAR says is, we're happier to have the entertainment factor than actually showcase good racing. And, as someone who's spent, the last, whatever it's been, 12 seasons with the series, it still bothers me. I understand that contact's going to happen, but this kind of blatant disrespect for other drivers isn't entertaining. It's not encouraging the next generation. And if I'm a sponsor and I'm sitting back saying, where am I going to channel my money? Am I going to put it on the other 24 cars that just become a moving target because one guy who's got the biggest budget in the series decides he's going to be a wrecking ball? Probably not. I'm going to go into, the Radical series. I'm going to go to the SBC series. I'm going to go somewhere else because at least there's a little bit more ethic, and there's a little bit more, rules and policing.
Lastly, IndyCar released their schedule for next year, and they actually go back-to-back weeks, back-to-back
to start
their year, where F1's not around.
Yep.
This might be the best decision we've seen from IndyCar in a long time. March 1st, 7th, and 15th, they will race.
Pretty cool. A couple new tracks, going back to Phoenix, going to Arlington. The Toronto Indy is no more. That race moves to Markham for at least the next 5 years. So that's going to be cool.
So it's still in Ontario. Yeah. It's just
still in the GTA.
Yeah.
You can still, it's right at one of the GO train stations. So you can, if you want at, $400+ a night, you can stay in downtown Toronto, or you can, like, Markham's a pretty cool town. There's lots of great stuff around everywhere, but it's going to be interesting. The track is really strange. I need to see it in person and kind of see it on TV to really get an idea how it's going to flow. But great schedule. Just mentioned David Malukas. He finally got announced as being signed to Penske, probably the most coveted seat in IndyCar. So that's pretty cool. And then what was the other thing? Ganassi has finally tied Penske for the total number of championships with Alex Palou's win this year. It's now, I think they both have 17.
Oh, so that'll be an opportunity to break that tie next year.
It seemed like it. Well, Penske really needs to turn their program around because they're a shadow of their former self, but obviously a tumultuous year with a lot of high-end executives getting sent to the curb. But that's why we watch. So let's see how they claw their way back.
Colin, great stuff, man. As always, we appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, boys.
There you go. That's Colin Livingston, the Race Report, brought to you by Can Torque. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan will return. We got more from the orders. We'll update you, of course, on Zach Hyman. We'll get some debates on that. Jason Smith, head coach of the Oil Kings. We got Tater in the 2-minute warning, 5 questions. So a busy third hour coming up. But first, let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You're going to swap your tires out this fall eventually. So guess what? Buy a set of tires in September, and then you save on tire storage. You don't want to leave it in your garage anymore. Don't do it. See select locations for details, fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch told the media earlier today Zach Hyman likely will not return until the early November. Hyman injured in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final when he collided with Stars and Ford Mason Marshman, causing a dislocated wrist that did require surgery. Week 3 in the NFL kicks off tonight out in Buffalo. Bills hosting the Dolphins. That gets going at 6:15 in the majors. The Jays fell to the Rays earlier today at 4-0. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Kansas City. Those Royals also losing today to the Mariners 2-0. Elsewhere, Athletics got past the Red Sox 5-3. It was the Mets with the Padres 6-1, and the Marlins defeated the Rockies 9-7. Later tonight, you got the Reds and the Cubs, Yankees in Baltimore. Brewers host the Angels, and the Giants taking on the Dodgers. In the WNBA, playoff action, Fever in College Park taking on the Dream. You've also got the Aces and Storm, both those series tied at a game apiece. And college football, one game tonight, Charlotte taking on Rice. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and be joined by head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Jason Smith. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And On the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
Along with party band Kerr,
DJ Deadly Nedley and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 06 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer. Industry's toughest one.
Back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440s.
They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
That's the sound of the Harley you've been dreaming about. And this is the sound of opportunity knocking, and it's coming from Harley-Davidson of Edmonton.
Our end of season sale is on, and we're clearing the floor with unbelievable prices on a huge selection of pre-owned bikes. This is your moment to own the legend.
Find your dream machine at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family, and celebrating 45 years.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air.
You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart people. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used club car, Yamaha, and E-Z-GO models. The Golf Cart people stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart people at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
When you get into a new Tundra, you might find yourself hauling ATVs into the great outdoors, even if your last outdoor experience was a backyard barbecue. Because with this much towing capability, fun, it's a serious upgrade. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 double cab SR5 for $154 weekly for 60 months at 5.39% with $7,999 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca for your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Man, we're almost in the latter half of September. Man, where does the time go? It is flying by. Well, hey, when you're a sports fan, you're having fun. And the month of September, there's so much sports to go on. Flies right by. Awesome. Baseball playoffs right around the corner. NHL preseason gets going on Saturday, in fact, with one preseason game and then 15 on Sunday. CFL, NBA camps are getting going. You got WHL starting this weekend. You got the BCHL going, AJHL going. Man, everything's happening. Everything. University sports ongoing, junior football. Love it. Absolutely. Love it. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor alongside Terry Ryan. We'll get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So we talk about like the net front presence, TR, and it's a very unique skill set on a power play, right? It's, you don't just put your 5 best guys. Somebody in front of the net is a different presence. So Zach Hyman is out. For anybody who's just joining us, Zach Hyman will be out for the entire month of October, coming back in November. We don't know exactly when. So 12 games in October. There's 3 games in the first 4 days of November. So let's say 15 games he's going to miss. They're going to need a right winger to play with McDavid 5-on-5, but they're going to need somebody to play the net front presence. Do you see, like, for me, it's Adam Henrique would maybe be the best option. Now, I know he's not a right-handed shot, so maybe that plays into it, right? If it's a right-handed shot, then you have Tomasic. I'm just not sure he's ever played the net front. You got Matt Savoy, again, never really played the net front, and it is a different skill set, TR. So maybe you could move a guy there and he would do it fine. What do you think they'll do? What would you do?
Yeah, it is a unique skill set. And I think you can adapt. Now, look, again, in my relatively short career, I'm telling you that there was a guy he's from Alberta, actually, Bonnyville. His name is Chad Cabana. And Chad was a few years older than me. He was captain of our team my first 2 years there. And he's a big presence, and I had better hands, but Cabby got everything he could. He maximized his potential with the game. He used to work so hard, but he had over 20 goals a couple times. And I remember, like, not even thinking it was anything. It was only about going in front, having the balls to get in front of the net and then tipping. But there's like knowing exactly where to go. And I'll never forget it that he told me, he said, treat it like it's basketball and you're going to get called for being in the key. He's like, go in, go out. You got to keep. And now I think there's a little bit more movement, but back then it was just like, a lot of people just went to the front of the net, put their head down, and did take a beating, and they might have been somewhat successful. But if you look at guys over the years that I really studied, some of my peers, one would be Ryan Smith before me, and I wouldn't be like one of my favorite players, but he was good in front of the net. A guy, Tim Kerr, used to play for Philly.
Oh, God, he was unreal.
Remember that? That? Yeah, so like, exactly. And if you look at them, they're not just standing there. They're doing a lot, man. A lot of times they're getting the puck, they're getting to the outside, and then they're going in front of the net, and they're at the same time, you got to, if you can be ready for a rebound and screen the goalie, right, then that's 2 in 1, perfect, an ideal scenario. But in order to do that, you got to really be moving, and then you got to, maybe I can throw the D off, maybe I can use the D as a screen myself, or even maybe he'll bounce one in on, if you give a lot of tension in front of there and are a hassle. In recent years, maybe Corey Perry comes to mind. And not just from like, I don't mean like Corey Perry trying to draw a penalty. I mean, just getting in front of there and just being so unpredictable, but dumb like a fox kind of thing. Go in there like a bull in a china shop, but then like really know what you're doing. And I'm telling you, the best, a couple of them I just mentioned, that's what they do. Now, for me, I think I have a high hockey IQ, at least I did back then. So, but I needed to be taught that, or else I was just doing what everybody else was doing. It just doesn't come naturally. Coming across the line and seeing somebody open, third guy high, that comes naturally to me. You don't have to teach that to me. I'll go out, and I'm sure there's 1,000 guys like that. But it just doesn't come naturally in front of that net. It's like, and then it's playing angles, and where does this puck usually come? Right before analytics, I remember going, okay, where are the bounces? When it hits the boards, it got to go somewhere. Where's it going? Who's shooting it from where? Right, and you really can improve your odds just by doing that. Now, I think that someone in Edmonton is probably giving advice to one of the guys that's probably in the running to do that, just like Cabby gave me advice back in the day. Those are just the 2 cents that I can tell you, because that was part of my game. And I knew that if I'm on the power play, I'm going to score a lot more. And at the very least, it doesn't have to be power play, but that's big. But that was generally a rule of thumb for me, was approach the front of the net like that.
Yeah, and it's a unique skill set, right? Like, it's very different on how you play. You talked about the angles, right? You obviously you can't be afraid to get in front of the net. You know, Bouchard's going to be firing bombs at you at some point, so you got to be. But you also have to have good hand-eye coordination. Like I said, it the minute now that you know it, now the players might have known it anyway. I'd be staying after practice, just standing in front of the net, getting used to it, showing the coaches I'm willing to do it, and getting a D-man to shoot some pucks just so I can tip them.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you another name that really worked on his game, because I remember him saying it, and it didn't come natural to him, even though he was big and he was a great player, ended up with a Stanley Cup, played in the Western League Seattle. Turner Stevenson. Turner used to get there in practice, and, you know, at the end when we had the ice, and, like, he would take about 100, like, he'd get the goal. He would, honestly, I'm not exaggerating, 50 to 100 pucks from like 1 foot out, like, and 2 feet out. And then, you know, you'd have someone shoot him in and tip him and get rebounds. That was one thing, but he would always do that. And it didn't matter if the goalie was in the net. He'd just go in, flip it up under the bar, come out, go back in, and all the pucks would be, I'm like, what are you doing? The pucks are 1 foot and 2 feet in front of the net. But he was just kept saying, there's guys like us, you know, we got to go to that net, and it's the difference between 15 or 20 goals or whatever it is. And if you do it well and just keep going in and make it a habit and see that puck pounce on it, you usually got to go up. If we're in as close as we are, T-Bone, you got to get up under the bar like Stephane Richer. I'll never forget him saying it. Richer used to do that too. I mean, he's obviously a better scorer than we were, but that was Richer's thing. Like, get in there and always, like, instinctively go up under that bar, try to put it under that bar rather than just tap it in the net. And there you go. That's another 5 or 10 goals for whoever listens, right? So a lot of this stuff, hockey IQ is one thing, but knowing where to go, especially as the game gets faster, that was the thing that I should have prefaced it all with. When I got to the Western League, it was going so fast that, in relative terms to where I'd come from, that it didn't seem fluent, or it didn't come naturally to me.
Terry Ryan joins us. Let's get to Cam Tate now. And the 2-minute warning brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions: project, service, testing, and solar for both commercial and residential. ActionElectrical.net. Cam Tate, of course, a longtime journalist in town. Cam has cerebral palsy, born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair, and has always wanted to be on radio. And now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Today, we ponder the profound, or perhaps the profoundly perplexing, as a rather disquieting question has, with all the grace of a rogue wave, surfed its way onto the sun-drenched shores of Tampa Bay, leaving in its wake a certain blue-clad baseball team looking less like majestic birds of prey and more like a flock of pigeons that just realized they've forgotten how to fly, especially after managing a paltry 4 hits. Yes, you heard that correctly. 4, against a Rays team that, with 11 hits and 4 runs, danced across the dish with an ease that suggests the Blue Jays, after their 2nd consecutive loss, might just be contemplating their chances in the Connor McDavid sweepstakes. The sky, bless its azure heart, isn't falling. Not yet, anyway. No, sir, no immediate celestial collapse. But, and here's where my calculated skepticism, a finely honed instrument of mild alarm, truly kicks in. There has to be some concern. Guilty as charged. Pick me. The reason for this burgeoning disquiet, this gnawing unease, has less to do with the 4-0 loss itself and more with its timing. For here, in the year's 9th month, as the season's grand finale approaches faster than a Zamboni on fresh ice after a particularly brutal shift, every game, every win, every loss is, quite rightly, slid under a microscope, revealing every flaw, every missed opportunity, every errant throw, in stark, unforgiving detail. Today's loss, a rather deflating affair, raises another, much more serious question. 3 games. There you go. Now, Toronto travels to Kansas City. where some new cases of champagne will need to be tucked to the postseason clinch, which can only happen as early as Saturday. The loss also leaves the Blue Jays 3.5 games up on the Yankees, who play Thursday tonight. So, the burning question, the one that truly keeps us up at night, is this: where, precisely, does the Blue Jays training staff pack the champagne in case Saturday is a magic day? The 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Mr. What's his name? Weekday afternoons. Sports. 1440.
That wasn't a great one run in 2 games for the Jays, but the good news for them, Detroit lost again. That's who Cleveland's beating. So Cleveland keeps Toronto's magic number to clinch a playoff spot down at 3. But the Jays, hey, they lose, but so does Detroit. So they're still 4 games up on Detroit for first in the AL, and they're 3.5 up on the Yankees. If the Yankees win, there'll be 3. But the Yankees, they've gotten to 3. I think at one point they were 2. That's the closest they've been here in the last month. They haven't found a way. And the Jays are either winning series 2-1, or in this case, they're even a series at 2. So, slight concern, I think, for the offense to go 1 run in 2 games. TR, but it's I don't think it's a major cause for concern just yet.
No, not with, what are we? We're almost at the 162 game mark, whatever, 150 odd games played. And we've seen this before. It's not like they haven't lost 2 in a row. But if you look at the overall picture and the depth and the relative consistency in so many categories, including, strikeouts, lack of, batting averages. Just last week they had, I think there was 9 players in the majors with an average of 300, and they had 3 of them. And even now, there's Kirk's right there, Guerrero, Springer, forgetting one. But anyway, it's just, for me, no, the sky isn't falling, not even close. I think they can stay rather consistent. There's no reason to think otherwise. Bo Bichette's going to come back, but it's not like you've got players who can't pick them up there. It's just a couple of games. That was it. And a lot of good did happen. They just couldn't get the bat on the ball as much as they would have wanted. But, again, I think it's just a very, very small sample size as opposed to the whole product. And you don't want to come in slow at the finish. You don't want to limp to the finish, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just a couple of games and we'll pick it up. And, the magic number be one thing, but these guys are going to win every single game. And, you with the Jays, as opposed to a year ago, you really do go into every game thinking that it's possible.
420, when we come back, Jason Smith, former Edmonton Oiler defenseman and captain, now head coach of the Oil Kings, will join us. So Jason Gregor Show with Terry Ryan, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game, PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, it is Thursday, the Daily Grand, your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Pretty good deal. PlayAlberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
A new Edmonton Oil Kings season hits different.
After a cruel summer, hockey is back at Rogers Place. This Saturday at 4, it's the Oil Kings home opener against the Red Deer Rebels.
Family fun that's second to none with Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Shake it off with a post-game concert from Canada's #1 Swiftie tribute artist, plus bracelet making on the concourse.
The Edmonton Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment. Home openers Saturday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The fall experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Oodle noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
It's time to rev up your engines at the Finning Sales Event, Tuesday, September 23rd. Take advantage of event exclusives and score big with 0% financing. Demo the latest Cat heavy-duty equipment as they celebrate 100 years. Plus, you can pick up your perk with every equipment purchase, $2,000 in additional discounts or free select attachments. Big machines, big savings, big fun. That's Tuesday, September 23rd. Edmonton Finning, 10910 170th Street Northwest.
Imagine a busy classroom. Now imagine it if no one was willing to teach. Here's the reality. It's getting harder to keep teachers in the profession and to attract new people to an increasingly challenging job. Pay for teachers has fallen far behind inflation and cost of living. With fair wages, we can keep the ones we have and hire more. But we need the provincial government to step up. Because a fair deal for teachers is a good deal for kids. A message from the Alberta Teachers Association.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got booster balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy, the new mint chocolate booster ball, peppermint cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. On the Rocks is celebrating 19 incredible years at their iconic location, and they want to celebrate with you. Join them September 19th for an incredible night of live music and so much more. On the Rocks, YEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$427, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Sports 1440. Check us out online as well, and be sure to hit the subscribe button. We'd very much appreciate that. We will talk a little hockey now as we go to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Their home opener is tomorrow night in their brand new arena, the Thompson Family Arena. So get your tickets at sgsaints.ca. And while they'll be open up a brand new arena, the Edmonton Oil Kings will be in Red Deer as Jason Smith will be making his regular season head coaching debut with the Oil Kings. Obviously has previous WHL head coaching experience, but still, it's the first one for the Oil Kings. Got a first time back in Edmonton, and the man they call Gator for a long time, Jason Smith, joins us now. Jason, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Well, Jay, you've been here before, so, but it's a new team, and I'm sure players always want to make a good impression. How does a coach make a good impression on his new team?
Well, I think you obviously want to come in and set a tone and, give direction, but you also want to get a chance to build a relationship with the players. And, I've kind of spent a lot of time just observing and watching and, sharing a lot of the practices and a lot of the meetings with the staff to, really get a chance to get a feel for the guys and, watch them kind of watch and observe and learn. I think that's something, I kind of learned as a player is you kind of watch and, see people around you and take in information and then, you're able to build relationships and that going forward. So it's been an exciting couple of weeks of getting a chance to know the guys, but also, a lot of observing and, taking in information on how they learn and how they react to different situations.
A little bit difficult because a lot of your top guys are away at NHL camps right now.
Yeah. No, I think that's a part of junior hockey. I obviously got to experience that in Kelowna when guys were taken off to camp, and you don't really get a chance to see them early on, and I think that's one thing about you really recognize about junior hockey is it's you have your training camp, and then you have a kind of a different camp, and then you have then you get back to it with when your players come back to junior, you go through like a whole nother teaching a lot of the same stuff again. But, having experienced it and gone through it before, kind of know what to expect and know that there is, time spent and by the coaches just relaying those messages over and over again. And that's how important it is to make sure that we're all on the same page and delivering that message.
TR?
Jason, is there any one coach that influenced your coaching philosophy the most?
You know what, as a head coach, being around Mac T and the Oilers here for a lot of years, I really realized, how important it is to be a good human being and, be able to communicate, but also have personal relationships with your players. And then as a coach that helped me grow as a player and was the most beneficial guys for me was probably Larry Robinson. He was an assistant coach with the Devils when I first got there. And, you go from junior hockey being this offensive guy and burning up the rink and getting a point a game to really learning how to play the game and how important everything else is. I think he was great at delivering the message and delivering how important it is to understand that there's lots of ways to be successful in hockey, and there's some things that you can tighten up to be a player that can play for a long time. And Larry was great with that with me in Jersey. He just really relayed that message and was just the ultimate human being of being able to teach, being able to be a little bit critical, but also being very respectful of the sensitive feelings of a hockey player.
Interesting and not surprising. What areas is your team most focused on improving this season, as opposed, coming from last season?
Well, obviously, I wasn't here last year, but watching and seeing, I think just the ability to transition the puck quickly and capitalize on opportunities, and then just the competitive side in the defensive zone, I think is something that every coach talks about. I think every coach in hockey probably says the quicker you defend, the better you defend, the more time you get to spend in my term is the fun zone, which is the offensive zone. And, if we can kill plays and transition back and track hard back to our end by backing hard, having a good gap and killing plays and spending the least amount of time in our zone possible is kind of where we want to be. And as a group, if we can kill plays and spend time in the offensive zone, then with our skill and our offensive ability, we'll create opportunities and be able to score.
Jason Smith joins us, head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings in Red Deer tomorrow, and then the Oil Kings home opener is Saturday night. With a lot of your guys, away at camp, Sachin's gone, Checo, and a few others. What's your lineup looking like tomorrow as far as your top few line combinations?
You know what? We still got good depth and guys that are going to be relied upon. We got our captain, there's obviously Hodds. Gavin Hodman is an elite player in this league. We've got Hansen. We've got guys that are going to be able to create offense, spend time in the ozone. We've got Sachin's brother, younger, obviously, and very skilled. And I think we'll have two lines of guys that are players that will spend a lot of time playing in this league and have played in this league with experience. And then we've got, two lines of guys that are, kind of in their second year or first year, kind of coming into the league. But I think most teams in this league early in the year are in a similar situation. And it's about how we go out and play and how we compete, your details of the game. I always talk about, having a good stick. Your stick should always be on the ice. You're bigger. You defend more ice when you don't have the puck. And then, obviously just competing and playing as a group is important. I think individual doesn't have a lot of success. If you have one great player that plays for himself is great in the short term. You might might win games and have opportunity to have success. But if the depth of your team and you have a complete roster that you can rely upon in all situations, gives you the best chance to win.
Jason, for yourself, of course, you had success in Kelowna as the head coach, and then you being an assistant coach and associate coach for the last few seasons. Now back as the head coach. How much more enjoyable is it? Do you recognize, is your personality better suited to be the head guy? And what have you liked about getting back behind the bench as a head coach for the first time since 18-19?
Well, obviously, wanted the opportunity and got the opportunity to come back and be a head coach because, I believe that as a structure and a system within your coaching staff, you have to have a head coach, but you have to also rely on your people. I think the teams that I was a part of that had the most success were, great coaching staffs. They developed great relationships with their players and were able to, relay messages in a lot of different ways. And that's what, I want to bring here to the Oil Kings is a staff that's relied upon in all situations. And if we're on the same page as the coaching staff, we're going to relay those messages to the players and we're going to get them to give us the best results they can as a group. And with the depth in our group and the players that we have, everybody stays healthy and we're going to play well and do good things.
What is your plan as far as a goalie rotation and games? Have you set it out that much at all when you look at the season for your goalies?
We've talked about it. Obviously with the group of guys that were here in the previous bunch of years, they know a lot more about the goaltenders and the belief in them than what I watched in the bunch of games that I watched kind of coming in. But I think we've got two guys that are both very capable of playing in the nets and pushing us and giving us saves that we need at opportune times when maybe we're not playing as well as we need to play. I think they're both very capable of stealing us games and winning us games. And I think that's a good situation to be in.
Jason, best of luck tomorrow night. Enjoy getting back behind the bench, and we'll be talking to you throughout the season. Then, of course, best of luck Saturday in the home opener and the rematch against the Rebels.
Great. Thanks for having me, and enjoy the rest of your time on the air today.
You betcha, man. That is Jason Smith, head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings. They are in Red Deer on Friday, and then they have Saturday, which is a 4:00 start, their home opener against the Red Deer Rebels. And TR, of course, you had a little stint with Red Deer. What is your favorite memory of playing in Red Deer? Which, geez, if I'm going back, I think you came in there. You were acquisition kind of late in that season, if I'm not mistaken, after being in Montreal, and then I think didn't you score like 18 goals in the playoffs that year? And I think it was 97. Is that right?
It's good memory. I did it in 3 rounds too. It was some sort of a record at the time. I remember it. I had no idea. They just came in and told me. But everything, 2 of them were from the red line on fake dumps. I mean, everything went in, and the whole thing, it was just the whole experience was great for me because I'd had a concussion the year before. This is out there on YouTube. If you want to check it out, man. I got hit in Tri-Cities, and I was done for almost a year. I made the Habs, but my head was really hurting. So Reggie Hull said, we're going to send you back to junior at the deadline, practice with the team and everything, and get some rest and learn from the older guys, and then you'll go in. So I didn't go back there till the beginning of February. But in the 16 regular season games, I had 35 points, I think, and then went in the playoffs and we ripped it. But the best part of all of it was my buddy BJ Young, who's passed away now. But in my time, we'd started in Tri-Cities together, and BJ couldn't quite put it together. I mean, I kind of beat him out for a spot on Lancow's line, to be honest, even though we shoot different ways. It was one or the other, I remember. And BJ was just a great player, not quite disciplined. And I mean off the ice, and I don't mean like with booze or anything. I just mean like he was late for things and always a little bit overweight. Like he was just this laid back surfer dude kind of. But I mean, he came from Alaska, and he just played bantam, and he wasn't immersed into the Canadian, or definitely not the Canadian Hockey League culture. So we were roommates, and we really fed well off each other. We grew up together. BJ got traded over to Red Deer, and I knew it because we all knew how good he was. It just took an extra year because we're the same age. But then the next year he went over there and caught fire. And then the next season he had 50. But when I went there, I think 49. And then I went there, and Rich Ewell asked me, he said, where do you want to go in the league? There's lots of teams that we can trade you to or get you traded. Not that they were trading me. And they'd had Aaron Asham was there and part of Montreal. So that was good. And we played well together. Greg Schmidt, Jesse Wallen. There was a bunch great players, like 5 or 6 first round picks and knocking on the door second, Mike Brown. And but anyway, I went there and I played with BJ, and BJ went from 32 goals to 58 in that 16 game span. And BJ, and I still say it, I mean, I love the Rebels. They bring us back, and some of my best friends still live there. Devin Francon, I know you're listening, but the Red Deer Rebels should retire his jersey. He's got the most goals in franchise history. There's been unbelievable. Hey, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins came a few years later, right? I mean, all these great players that have gone through and played there, Colby Armstrong, Justin Mapletop, go on and on. Lots of NHLers, but BJ has the most goals. And he wasn't your conventional kind of junior player, and he was almost aloof a lot of the time. And he just was one of these guys. He just happened to be a magician on the ice, like he didn't even put much practice in. But I'm not holding that against him. That's BJ. He was one of my best friends. Passed away in 2006. And I still say, if anybody's listening, he should have his jersey retired in Red Deer. And the day that happens, I'll be on the plane.
Love it. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with 5 questions and more. It's the Jason Gregor Show alongside Terry Ryan, Connor Halley, and Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And On the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
With party band Curve,
DJ Deadly Nedley, and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 2006 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
And On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
God said, I need somebody to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, go to town, and stay all night at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We are so thankful God made a farmer. For the month of September, it is our goal to feed 500 families. With every vehicle sold, we will feed a family of 4. So please help us reach our goal. Visit us online at northgategm.com.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Now, save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Stop juggling lowest bid contractors, because at Wetaskiwin and Ready Mix, one call does it all. From concrete supply to cribbing and pumping, we've got your project covered. Locally owned and operated, Wetaskiwin and Ready Mix is proud to deliver on spec and on time every time, because we know quality concrete isn't cheap, and cheap concrete isn't quality. Send Wetaskiwin and Ready Mix your blueprint. We'll handle the rest. Wetaskiwin and Ready Mix, 780-352-4301.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Start a fire. Oh, could sing along with that one, baby. Oof, if you can sing. Good karaoke song right there. Lovely Thursday afternoon. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. The Daily Grand. Get in on it. Chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, or just take the one lump sum payment. $7.3 million. Pretty good deal. PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. Just remember our rule. You win, you host a throw party. We win, we'll invite you to it. Because trust me, if we win, there'll be multiple soirees, shall we say? Multiple soirees. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. It's your final day. If you've been sitting around waiting, well, don't wait any longer. $700 off big screen TVs. You can get $1,100 off sofas and sectionals, and score up to 60% off all clearance items in the tent at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Oilers officially hitting the ice today. Give me one bold prediction for the 2025-2026 season.
One bold prediction for the Oilers?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Bold? Okay. Zach Hyman, although he'll miss till November, will still get 40 goals.
Wow. Okay. That's bold. I like that. I am going to say my bold prediction is that Adam Henrique turns back the clock and scores 20 goals for the 9th time in his career.
All right. Question number 2. We've heard all about the Skinner weight loss. Talking Stu here. In your opinion, how much does that weight loss really change his game?
I don't think it's going to change very much at all. He talked about it. He just he's looking for longevity in his career. Joints, there's just a little bit of wear and less wear and tear on his body. Not that he was overweight by any stretch of imagination. He did mention, he's cut out sugars. Not that he ate a lot of it, but anybody out there can attest to you cut out some sugar in your diet and suddenly, you'll lose 5 pounds sleepy. So 10 pounds isn't a massive difference on a big frame like him. He has the same size equipment, so he feels a little lighter. I think where it could help him is later in games. That's what I'll say. But I don't think suddenly we're going to see Stuart Skinner magically. Like, everybody has deficiencies in strength in his game, and I think those aren't magically going to change either way.
Yeah, from what I know, I mean, that wasn't like it was a major problem. I think it'll probably help him feel better, and that's never a bad thing to see someone's working hard. But I don't know, from my angle, I never would have pinned Stuart Skinner on, guy better lose weight or he's going to lose his job. I'm sure it feels good for him. Then we're set.
Question number 3 for you guys. Do you think that Mike McDaniel lasts the entire season as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins?
No, I don't think he's going to last another 12 hours. There you go.
Yeah. No, the Dolphins are not very good. He's going to take the blame, despite his GM really doing a whole lot of nothing. So the question is, will it be one at a time or both at the same time?
Question number 4. Now, they take on the Bills tonight. They head in as 11.5-point underdogs. Do you think Miami can cover at least? And do you think the over-under will be over or under 50.5 points? That's what it is at playalberta.ca.
DR?
Oh, I think they're going to get blown out. I don't think the 50 points are going to be covered because I don't think Miami's going to score 10. Yeah, that's the answer.
Man, my initial thought was, oh yeah, but then Brian Diardo talked about it, and you're like, how often does an 11.5-point spread hit in favor of the team that's getting is giving up the 11 points? So I agree that they won't get the over, but for some reason I think somehow the Dolphins. Actually, you know what? No, Dolphins are going to get blown out. They're going to lose by 18.
All right, final question for you guys today. It is the late James Gandolfini's birthday. I would say he was perfectly cast in the role of Tony Soprano for The Sopranos. So when it comes to great acting performances, characters that absolutely were nailed by their actor or actress, who comes to mind for you?
Oh, God. So great TV actors?
Yes.
Okay. This is such a broad category. I could pick so many people. I'll pick 3. There you go. Archie Bunker, whatever that guy's name was from the 70s. I forget. Can you check that out for me, Connor? Yeah, I have it. It's right there. Anyway, I thought he was a great actor, and so much so that a lot of people didn't like him because of his personality on the show. I think it's just great. He's one of the...
Isn't it Carol O'Connor? Is that his name?
There it is. There it is. Carol.
Okay. Yeah, he had a different name. Yeah.
Good Canadian. Oh God, now I'm losing that. Joe Bluth. Bluth.
Will Arnett.
There you go. I mean, he's one of the best, and not only that, one of the best voice actors, and I really mean that, in my opinion. And I'm watching right now. I'm late to the party, but I'm watching The Penguin, and I can't not say Colin Farrell. It's impossible what he's doing. I didn't realize it was him till like halfway through the first episode when my buddy texted me. That's how good this is. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pretty wild.
And there's some good ones. So Michael Richards as Kramer is going to be at the top of my list. I thought he was unbelievable in that role. Just an unreal physical actor. So he would he's at the top. Ooh, God, like who fit the role? Wow, how can I not go with Lonnie Anderson as Jennifer, WKRP in Cincinnati? Come on, kidding me? Just for the baseball episode alone,
an all-timer.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go because when you look at what he's done since, but when you look at Al Bundy. And, Ed O'Neill played him and all the other characters, but he played so good. Like, God, he had some unreal lines too, but kind of a dim-witted guy. And then you see all his other roles. So I'm going to go with Ed O'Neill as Al Bundy because just his facial expressions. And man, when he ran that shoe store, oh God. He was great at just, insult humor. So I'm going to go with Ed O'Neill. Cons?
I'll go with the three picks like TR, Steve Carell as Michael Scott. Like, I don't know if any actor could have done better in that role. I wasn't as big of a fan of this show as other people, but Bryan Cranston as Walter White, I think was just unbelievable casting. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And I'm kind of going with the anti-heroes here. Dexter, Michael C. Hall. Is that his name? Yeah. Just the guy. I have I really respect those anti-heroes that the characters obviously written well, but the actors who can make someone who shouldn't be likable. And you kind of have a soft spot for them. So those would be my three.
Not bad.
I love the picks, boys. You know why? Because a lot of people underestimate, including the Oscars every year. It's all subjective, but comedic actors, and we all picked at least one. I'm telling you, as a guy who does auditions, that's the hardest thing.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing, and people don't give it credit, and it should get the most credit. But not the most. I mean it, and it's one thing. I'm not saying it because I'm on a comedy. Shorzy, like that part is a little. I mean, okay, there is something to our level of comedy, but we're playing hockey players, yada yada, a lot of parallels. But just to go out there and be funny in a skit is not easy to do. Not easy to make people laugh.
Oh no, and do it like where it comes across, because especially insult humor, some people are like, well, this guy's a jerk. But when the actors, the way they do it, their body language, how they deliver the line, and it's insulting, but it's not demeaning, if that makes any sense. And I find those ones pretty good. Like even Jason Alexander as George, like to be that mixture of a pessimist, and then at the same time, being able to go out on his own and drag the trophy around, and be so confident that you can give them tips on how to hit better. Bernie Williams. Oh, like it's just hilarious how he delivered it. Short, portly guys like, oh, wow. Yeah. If you want to hit 300.
Yeah, man.
Oh, so good. So there's definitely some good ones. We got a lot coming in. Hey guys, Marion Ross was the perfect Mrs. Cunningham from Not Fred. Oh, going back in time. I like that one. Well, what about who? Oh, what was her name? Who played Edith Bunker? Oh my God, her voice was hilarious. Can't remember her name. God, I have to look it up.
I can't either. But they played off each other so well.
Oh
man.
Yeah,
engaging. The show and the Jeffersons came from that.
Yeah,
and the Jeffersons were the same sort of thing. Georgie and Wheezy. They really made the show. They were the two central characters. And really played well off each other.
Jean Stapleton was her name, and God, she played it. And then what about Meathead?
Oh yeah, Meathead. Hey, how about that?
Michael Stivich, I think it was Stivich. Is that how you say his name, if I'm not mistaken? So, God, there's lots of good ones, man. There's some great characters. We got a lot of text flying in as well. Hey guys, Robert De Niro is Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. That was a good one, actually. It's from a movie for sure, but that was he was fantastic, right? Hey guys, Henry Winkler as the Fonz. Oh, he did actually play it. Oh God, and he was like, he played such a cool character. And then you look at and that's where you see good acting, because when I saw the Fonz, and then I didn't see him for a long time, and then I remember seeing him in The Water Boy and some other movies, and you're just like, this guy was the Fonz, like so different, completely different.
He's a classically trained actor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
was a job,
Yeah. It was unreal. So, TR, great show today, buddy. We appreciate your appearance. Thanks so much for this. Have yourself an awesome weekend, and we'll have some actual preseason games to discuss and see who's had some good starts next week.
Thanks, Connor. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton, and we'll chat soon.
You betcha. There's Terry. Hey, boys, Alfonso Ribeiro for Carleton. He was unreal. Well, hey, he perfected the Carlton dance, right? How many people, just when you say do the Carlton, you know exactly what you're talking about. Alfonso was pretty good. Didn't he win? Did he win on Dancing with the Stars? I think he might have. So, not the best reality show guy, but I thought he might have won that. Let's get to Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This month of September, Northgate is helping feed families. For every truck sold, they will feed a family of 4. So you help them out. And also farmers, small business owners, you get preferred rates in September. Northgate, this truck's for you.
The Sports 1440 update.
Down at the Oilers camp earlier today, head coach Chris Knobloch telling us that Zach Hyman likely will not return to the lineup until early November. He was injured in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final last season against the Stars with a dislocated wrist that required surgery. In the NFL tonight, you got the Bills and Dolphins kicking off Week 3. That one starts at 6:15 from Orchard Park, New York. Major League Baseball, Jays losing today to the Rays 4-0. They'll pick off a series against the Royals tomorrow. Those Royals also lost today to the Mariners 2-0. Also, the Red Sox losing to the Athletics 5-3. Mets over the Padres 6-1, and the Guardians drop the Tigers 3-1. Getting going shortly here. Reds host the Cubbies, the Yankees in Baltimore. Brewers take on the Angels, and at 8 o'clock, it's the Dodgers meeting the Giants. In the WNBA tonight, 2 playoff games at 5:30. The Dream hosts the Fever. Then at 7:30, the Storm in Vegas. Both those games tied at 1 game apiece. And college football tonight, Charlotte hosting Rice. Coming up in Hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear more from the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
The Spruce Grove Saints home opener is Friday, September 19th, and you don't want to miss it. The Saints will be playing their first game in the brand new Thompson Family Arena as they host league champion Brooks Bandits at 7 p.m. With a completely new and exciting in-game experience, including a state-of-the-art Jumbotron, the Thompson Family Arena will be the place to be. Don't miss the Spruce Grove Saints home opener, September 19th. For tickets, visit tickets.sgsaints.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes,
Call Legacy! Call Legacy!
for furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind.
Call Legacy! Call Legacy!
Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one.
Call Legacy! Call Legacy!
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling. Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Yeah, can I get yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see?
Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 14.
Now at McDonald's.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Stop juggling lowest bid contractors, because at Wetaskiwin Ready Mix, one call does it all. From concrete supply to cribbing and pumping, we've got your project covered. Locally owned and operated, Wetaskiwin Ready Mix is proud to deliver on spec and on time every time, because we know quality concrete isn't cheap, and cheap concrete isn't quality. Send Wetaskiwin Ready Mix your blueprint. We'll handle the rest. Wetaskiwin Ready Mix, 780-352-4301.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
Our legendary employee pricing has been held over into September. So if you just got back from summer vacation, you can still get the Ford you want with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all their great bikes at hdedmonton.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, as we roll through. Man, the time is just flying by. I love this time of year. There's so much going on. We can't get it all in. It's awesome. We got Andrew Mangiapane coming up later on this hour. We'll probably reset some of the comments from Connor McDavid, Stuart Skinner as well. By the way, it was a typo for Stu Skinner. He's at 2:15 and says, hey, most people aren't going to notice the difference. I played around 2:25, sometimes 2:30, but, probably said, if I was being honest, probably like 2:27. So down a little bit, says he's a little lighter on the ice. Doesn't think it's going to change a whole bunch in how he plays. It's more about longevity, joint longevity, said, and just wants to play for a long, long time and feels if you're at maximum or I guess the best playing weight, then away you go. So that was one of the stories. Obviously, the bigger story today is that Zach Hyman, we knew he wasn't going to start the season. Now he is going to be out at least 12 games. That's the month of October, coming back in November, considering they play 3 games in the first 4 days of November. I'm going to say 15 games for Zach Hyman before you see him. Minimum would be my guess at this point. We'll see. Obviously, there's no reason to rush him back. It's going to be opportunity for some other guys. David Tomasek was playing with McDavid today. Doesn't mean he's going to be there all season. There's Trent Frederick to start. Matt Savoy probably going to get some opportunities there. And hey, it's not the ideal news for Hyman, but it's kind of a twofold thing. There's the 5-on-5 role of Hyman, but there's the net front presence role of Zach Hyman. And I could see 2 different guys fulfilling both of those spots. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. PlayAlberta.ca, the new app, if you haven't tried it. Quick, easy, effective. All the games you like: casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, and instance, right on the app. Play Alberta. So we get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Mark Spector joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, pretty fair, man. Lots going on at Oilers Camp today already, looks like.
There is lots going on for sure. And, Zach Hyman, we knew he wasn't going to start. We thought, hey, maybe a few weeks. Now we know it's going to be at least a month. And so my question, I don't know who's going to be there 5-on-5, but the net front presence on the power play, Spec, is a very specific set of skills, to quote Liam Neeson. Who do you think would you have as the guy on the net front presence in place of Hyman?
In this group, there just isn't a guy that does what Hyman does. So you're not replacing him. So you just got to pick a guy who you think will benefit from it, who can handle the touches, who can probably get some work done down low. I'm going to say I'd probably start Andrew Mangiapane there. What about you?
I'm putting Adam Henrique. He's done it before, number one. Number two, I think he's kind of the closest stylistic player to a Corey Perry and Zach Hyman. He's got really good hands around the net. That's where he scores. Adam Henrique's not a guy that's, ripping one-timers and burying goals like that. So I could see him. Now, he's a left shot. Mangiapane's a left shot. I kind of like a bigger body, so I'm not sold on Mangiapane in front of the net. I could be wrong. I'd have to see if he's ever played there or not. But I know Henrique has, and he's done it well in the past in Anaheim. So he'd be my first choice. The wild card is, and I'd have to ask him tomorrow, if David Tomasic's ever played the net front presence. If he has, he's a right shot, and he's 6'2", 210 pounds. He'd be an option. I'm just not sure he's ever done it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like it's an opportunity for someone to get In the perfect world, in the Chris Knobloch's wildest dreams, you lose Hyman for the first 15 games. That's not good. But maybe someone gets to go into his place and get off to a wildly great start and kickstart his season. I'm thinking that's like, you might as well think positive here on this thing, because you can't change it. So, that's what and if that guy's Tomasic, if that guy's Mangiapane, I'm just picking a top 6 forward that I'd love to see get a real good start here. And that's kind of, you're right. Tomasic might be the guy. Henrique, sure. Let's see who they pick. I'm not sure how this is going to work.
Yeah, well, keep in mind they would split it sometimes anyway last year, so it might be 2 guys anyway. But maybe it's a righty at one, and maybe it's a lefty at another one. The other opportunity is Spec. You could move Nugent Hopkins there, even though he's never been a big net front presence guy. But you have David Tomasic, who's a right shot and can really rip it. Right. So maybe they'll switch it up and you'll have Nugent Hopkins and him both on the power play, but they're both switching at different looks, because that's the one thing Paul McFarland and, they've talked about just having different looks. So maybe this just says, hey, this gives us an opportunity to experiment a little bit here. And maybe we have multiple guys on the same unit moving around to the net front.
Yeah. What I do sense around this Oilers team in all departments is a yearning for change. New line mates, new things, a new power play coach, new assistant coaches. I guarantee you, they're just not going to run out the exact same power play that they've been running out for the last 5 years. They want change. They want fresh. They want new. Connor McDavid talked today about how last year got mundane, and it became just a march to the playoffs, and they need freshness, right? Like he said, I started the season or the training camp with Mangiapane and Tomasic, 2 guys I never played with before, and he's happy to do it. I'm not saying he doesn't want Hyman and Nuge and all that. It's not what I'm saying. But there is a yearning here for some freshness. So extrapolate that to the power play, Jay. Let's do things different. You know what I see on this power play this year? I see Evan Bouchard being a way bigger part of it. He didn't score a power play goal until he hit an empty net like halfway through the season last year. I think he's going to be firing bombs from different spots this year. I think that'll be one big change in power play for sure. And if you're telling me you put Tomasic on one side and Nuge in front, I think that's the kind of change that everybody around here would embrace.
Yeah, I look at the numbers. Like, I'd like Bouchard to shoot a bit, but I don't want him shooting a ton, because historically, heavy shot volume from the point doesn't lead to a lot of play. It doesn't lead to a lot of goal success. So, obviously, you want him scoring more than he did last year, no question. But I don't know if I need Bouchard shooting bombs, because he actually had more shots per 60 last year than he did the year before. They just didn't have goals. So that will be something to watch for me for sure. I had to leave, obviously, because of my show. The second session, Connor McDavid was interesting. He said that's maybe the best practice they've had in a long time, was his exact words. Quick pace. I know they do the exact same thing on the second one. We had Pod Coles in there and Savoy. What did you make of Howard's placement in the lineup?
Wait, refresh my memory. Who did he play with?
Howard was with, he was playing the right wing, funny enough, with Frederick and Janmark.
So that's, if you took 2 lines out of group 1 and 2 lines out of group 2, you kind of got the 4 lines, a 4-line team, let's say, right? And to me, that's the 4th line. Any line with Janmark and Frederick and Howard's probably your 4th line. So if that's where he's starting, that's where he's starting. He's going to have to work his way up from there. I think he should be happy he's in what we perceive to be the top 12. He's walking in the door here out of college to be in a spot to play with 2 veteran players. That's pretty good, because there's a whole bunch of lines full of rookies that we all know where they're going to end up. So, he'll start there, Jay, and he'll have to build his resume with his coaching staff. That's all he can do.
Yeah, and honestly, now it's 1 day of camp. I'm not going to.
It's 1 day of camp.
But I do look at, Mangiapane. I think, they want Nugent Hopkins to play center more. So I think Mangiapane will probably get a decent little run of time on the top line. But, Tomasic, Matt Savoy, I think they're going to first of all, McDavid doesn't play a ton of preseason. Now, he did play 5 games last year. I don't know if he would do that again this year. We'll see. But, there will be guys who will get practice time opportunities, but then also, game opportunities to see, whether they're with Draisaitl or not. And what about Draisaitl? Hey, Kasperi Kapanen played pretty well with that duo of Podkolzin and Draisaitl. Obviously, everybody remembers the huge overtime goal for Kapanen. He scored a few other big goals. He's a player spec. Like, I was watching Max Jones, and I'm like, if he didn't have name bars on the back of the jersey, you'd be like, who is that guy? Big, strong. He was the second fastest guy on the ice this morning behind Connor McDavid in his session. He was wheeling all over the ice, and I know it's training camp, but the skill set's there. And Kasperi Kapanen is the exact same thing. Like, if you just look at, I watched practice last year many times, and I was like, God, Kapanen looks like the third most skilled player on the ice here, shooting, and he's got an unreal release. And I wonder if maybe last year was for him to be like, you know what, I can be a player here and contribute. I'm curious. Consistency has been his nemesis for sure. I wonder if maybe this is the time he wakes up, or if he just has a good month and then he's back to being inconsistent.
Well, Kasperi Kapanen and Max Jones have a couple things in common, Jason. They were both first-round picks, and they both spun out on numerous teams, and they both end up in Edmonton, somewhere near, I'm not going to call it rock bottom, but they're fighting for their NHL lives when they showed up in Edmonton. Max Jones hasn't really done much here, hasn't played much, hasn't had much of a chance. Nice day at camp, big deal. Both those guys have tons of tools, man. That's why they were first-round picks, right? Mm-hmm. Tons of tools. They both skate. They both have size. We know what they got. But I don't know how old Max Jones is.
27.
Yeah. Kasperi Kapanen is 29. So we're not using the word prospect with any of these guys anymore.
Oh, no.
Right? And I'm not saying you are. But my point is, like, people have spent the last 6 seasons looking down from the stands and going, man, Max Jones, he's big, he's fast, he shoots. Yeah. What an awesome player. And then the season starts and he can't hold a spot in the lineup. Kasperi Kapanen has been waived twice and he's been through the whole league. So, yeah, I get it. They both look great and they both have tons of skill. They got to figure out how to bring it enough to hold their spot in this lineup. And Kasperi Kapanen showed us in the playoffs last year, when he's playing and he's bringing it, he's a valuable player, man. But they waived him out of Pittsburgh and they waived him out of Toronto, and I think they waived him out of St. Louis. Is that right? Well, one of them was a trade, but
St. Louis was last year, right? And the Oilers claimed him on waivers.
Right. The point is, you know what? All those assets don't mean jack unless you figure out how to use them every night.
Oh, I know, but I kept catching myself and watching. I'm like, God, look at this Jones guy. But hey, I know the history to it. When you see it, it's kind of like it illustrates how difficult it is to be a consistent player year in and year out in the National Hockey League and stick around, because on just a pure skill basis, speed, shooting, skating, Jones has it all. He just hasn't found a way to bring it the majority of his games.
Can't find consistency. He doesn't bring that game nearly enough. That's why he's, you could go through this lineup, Jason, 15 times with 15 different set of line combinations before you find a combination that has Max Jones as an opening night starter. Like, I don't see how he starts here.
No.
Do you?
No, I don't think. I think what Hyman's injuries does is that it's going to keep around a guy on the roster, right? Yeah, because if they want to go, it opens up a playing rod, but it just means whoever's the 14th forward is now the 13th forward, right? And maybe the 15th forward, if they carry 14, well, then now they'll be on the roster. If they want to do it or not, we'll see. They could put, I saw Puckpedia, you can put Hyman on LTR and opens up some space and yada, 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 but then you don't accrue any for a month. And, it's a minimal amount, but it will be interesting to see, what they do. They could just put him on IR and not on LTIR, and then just, and then keep him, because I think they had 14 forwards anyway. So you could do that. It just means you have 13 healthy forwards. So we'll see what they do in the cap crunch situation. What did you make of Ty Emberson at all? How did he look today? He's the one guy I didn't see.
Well, the first thing I thought was he was basically lined up as the 6th defenseman. He got to play with Kulak.
Yes.
And Kulak's making the team and he's starting every night. So the guy playing with him is making the team and starting every night. Stetcher played with Stillman, right? He was in the, so that's basically lining up as the 7th defenseman. So, we preface everything by saying it's the first day of camp, but when the coach makes that lineup up the first day, when you're fighting for the 6-7 job and you're 6 on day one, to an extent, I feel like it's a little bit your job to lose. They're showing some confidence in the kid. They're saying, we think we can do this. So that's all I got for you. I watched him in drills. He looks just fine. We're going to have to watch him play for a couple months and see if we see that he's taken a step. I think Emberson at this age, at this experience, it's time to take a step. And the beauty of the situation is we all know Troy Stetcher, man. He doesn't have to play much. We don't have to talk about him. He just hangs around. And when you give him a chance to play, he usually walks in and plays an awesome game. Like, he's a 500-plus game, number 7 defenseman that is chomping at the bit to step in for Emberson if Emberson stumbles. So it's a good situation down there. Emberson doesn't get a job if he doesn't play well. There's a guy waiting to take it from him.
Yeah, Mark Spector joins us. Spec, what did you? I know you asked Stu about his numbers, and he's always pretty honest. Oh, I recognize them. I know. What's your expectations for Skinner this season?
I'm in on this one, man. And people are going to say, "Oh, you're a Stu Skinner fan." Well, I don't know. I'm not a Stu Skinner fan. I mean, I like the guy. He's a nice guy, and I think he's a good goalie. But all the things, I don't know much about goalies, Jay, but I do know this. When a guy has a really good year 2 years ago and then a subpar year, he most often bounces back. Okay? That's where Stu Skinner is. When a guy's had 3 years in the league as a starter, okay? He's had 3 years in the league. Yep. He was a Calder finalist. He made an all-star team, and he's taken his team to 2 Stanley Cups in 3 seasons. Yeah. Now he's 26. He's lost a couple pounds. He's feeling great. All of those signs show me a guy that's ready to have a hell of a good season. Like, I know what everyone thinks of Stu Skinner, and I hear it every day. But I'm here to tell you, man, the pedigree he's built up in 3 years, and now he's just entering his prime. 4th NHL season at age 26. He's just in his prime now. I think you'll see a goalie this year you haven't seen before.
Spec, have a great day. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. It is like, because if you put the resume, like the way people talk about Stu Skinner, like, oh, the guy was Calder finalist, then an all-star, 2 Stanley Cup appearances. It's pretty good. 3 years in the league. And people will tell you they know, oh, he's not that good. I'm just kind of like, I would disagree. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Andrew Mangiapane gets the ideal opening day assignment. We'll discuss it next in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit PlayAlberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
A new Edmonton Oil Kings season hits different.
After a cruel summer, hockey is back at Rogers Place. This Saturday at 4, it's the Oil Kings home opener against the Red Deer Rebels.
Family fun that's second to none with Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
Shake it off with a post-game concert from Canada's #1 Swiftie tribute artist, plus bracelet making on the concourse.
The Edmonton Oil Kings are Edmonton's first choice for family entertainment. Home openers Saturday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Now save up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department, like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Bricks, saving you more.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
The girl them skill out, chick. Thunderball. Some give it up. Some give it up.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with a Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:25. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Also, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. Hey, Gregor, do you know what Wolf's rookie year numbers are compared to Stu Skinner's rookie season? Dustin Wolf last year had, what was he, 29 and 16. He had a 9-10 save percentage as a rookie and a 2.64 goals against average. Stuart Skinner as a rookie was a 29 and 14. So pretty close. Save percentage, 914. Goals against average, 2.75. So slightly higher save percentage for Skinner, slightly lower goals against, or slightly higher goals against average. Obviously, you want a little bit lower. So I do think there's a lot of anger that I think is misplaced at Stuart Skinner. And I can repeat it all day, but people have their mind made up. You're not going to change it. So, oh, look at this number, look at that number, and you could pick any number you want to make your point. But I just look at the overall numbers and 3 years into the NHL and what he's accomplished and what he's done. Has it all been smooth? Of course not. But it's interesting. Like, people want to think Skinner was the only bad player in game 1 and 2 against the Kings. Like, not even close. The Oilers gave up 27 high danger chances in 2 games. They gave up 14 the rest of the series. against LA. Which one do you think is a better environment for your goalie? 27 high danger chances in 2 games or 14 24 in 4 games? I think I know the answer. So there you go. But hey, Skinner's got to prove something, and he's got a great opportunity to do it, entering the final year of his contract. So it's good news. Now, let's get inside the order room as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And not only do they have $1 coffee, but the new veggie burger is available right now if you want to try it, only at McDonald's. As we get to Andrew Mangiapane, who today, for day one, preface that, day one, gets a prime spot in Oilers training camp on the left side of Connor McDavid.
Obviously, he's the best player in the league, so to be able to, be on the same team as him is special. And I'm just going out there during this camp and just trying to play my game, play hard, try to read off him. Hopefully, he teaches me a thing or two, and just kind of go on from there.
Being on his wing, something that you kind of expected when you signed here, or did you look at the board and say, hey, all right, I'm on Connor's line?
A little bit of both. You're kind of hoping that maybe you're with him or Leon or Nuge. Like, they got a lot of good centers kind of up and down this lineup here. So you're happy to play with whoever coach puts you with. But yeah, obviously he's a special player, and I think everybody in this league would want to be playing with him.
When you look at your career year, what do you felt went right that you tried to get back to that year compared to the other years?
Yeah, I feel like I was playing top minutes, being tenacious, hard on pucks. I felt like that year, just had a lot of confidence and everything like that, right? So I think confidence is huge in this league. So just for myself personally, I just got to find my game again. And I know it's in there, and just kind of going out there, getting the opportunity. I'm going to be getting hopefully a good opportunity here, playing with good players like I said here, and just kind of run with it and just play my game, right? Shoot when you want to shoot, pass when you got to pass, and don't kind of overanalyze kind of playing with these top players here.
Connor also just mentioned he's played against you lots growing up, and said you're always kind of annoying to play against. Is that a real important part of your game? And was that at the peak as well as your confidence when you were playing well?
Yeah, I think that's what gets my game kind of going, is kind of being in the other team's face, and that kind of goes to my tenaciousness, just not even scrumming it up or doing anything of that. Sometimes that comes along with it, but it's really getting in there on the forecheck, causing turnovers, just causing havoc. I'm not the biggest guy, but I gotta play big, gotta get in there, and like I said, cause havoc, and that's when I'm kind of at my best.
Tell us about the first time you remember playing against Connor. How old were you? Where were you? Who were you playing for?
He was probably York Simcoe Express there. He was always playing a year up, so I don't know what team I was on. I was somewhere, maybe even, I don't even know, Brampton Battalions or somewhere in the GTHL, something like that. I've always kind of played against them, even summer hockey, right? So I always knew kind of what he was about, and kind of you always had to shadow him even at that young age, right? So it's funny, I was the guy kind of skating around or trying to skate around, keeping up with him there at the young age, and it's funny now you're on the same team as him.
Was it a circus back then too?
Yeah, he was always kind of a good player, right? So I think everybody on every team kind of always had to watch for him even at a young age.
He's very different style. And when you played with Backlund that year, you had the 35, right? They're very different players. Obviously, no one skates like Connor does. Yeah. When you say you got to play your game, how do you play your game, but also adapt to his game at the same time?
Yeah, I think he's a special player, right? So you got to be able to communicate, and that goes with this camp here, right? Obviously, there's different players, but I think Connor's such a smart player. I just gotta you're just gonna keep building off of camp and seeing what he kind of likes and what to do and where he's gonna be kind of in the neutral zone and his speed and timing and things like that, where you just kind of got to get the reps and kind of go through it. And I think both of us will start learning, how to play with each other and throughout this whole camp.
Interesting. So it kind of made that last response from Mangiapane makes you think, maybe he'll get an extended look on the left side, which makes sense, because I don't think that they, I don't think we're going to see a different line every day at practice, right? Like you got to find some chemistry, especially now knowing for sure that Zach Hyman is out. If you missed it, that Zach Hyman is out for the entire month of October. He'll be back in early November, which could mean a minimum 12 games in October, and then they have 3 games in the first 4 days of November. So you could see a 15-game absence by Hyman, maybe even more, depending on how the wrist is feeling. Yesterday, he was pretty confident that things are progressing the way he would like, and we'll go from there. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Now, if you missed it, I do want to retouch on Connor McDavid, because he actually had a lot to say about hockey and other things about the team and more. If you missed it earlier, here's Connor McDavid, and we start talking about his first impressions of David Tomasic.
Yeah, big guy. Obviously played lots of pro and played at a high level. You can tell that, you can see that. Great shooter. Every single time he seems to go on a drill, he seems to score. That's a talent that not everyone has. So, yeah.
What do you look for now that this is year 11 for you? Like, what's your goal in training camp preseason? Do you have a game you want to play? What do you look for to make sure you're ready and the team's ready to have a better start?
Yeah, I think, obviously the team hasn't gotten off to 2 great starts the last couple of years. So, making sure that our group's ready to roll right off the gates, right out of the gate. It's important, obviously we saw coming down the stretch last year, getting hit a little bit with the injury bug. And if you're not in a good spot, it's tough. So I want to put ourselves in a good spot right off the opener. So that's obviously what we're trying to accomplish here out of camp.
Obviously, Andrew Manchuk pretty well. What's it like having him on this side as compared to having wear a Flames jersey?
Somebody I grew up playing against, honestly. We grew up around the same area. Never played with him, always against him, and he's always been that annoying guy on the other side. So nice to have him on our side. But he's a lot more than that. He's a great player. A guy who scored 35 goals in this league before, and I think that's right, but something around there. He scored goals in this league and can play with an edge, plays fast, wins battles. That's what you're looking for.
Like a lot of different things that you'd want in a winger.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things that I'm looking for in a winger. So fun to play with him day one, but as we know, things change, but hoping to build something with him and something that we can build on and roll moving forward.
You mentioned you felt like you had a good year last year, but maybe not a great year. Are there specific things this season that you want to improve on?
I think I'm always looking to improve. Scoring goals was something early in my career that I wanted to work on, and seemed to check that box. And then for whatever reason, it's gone back to the playmaking side, which is fine too. I'm here to do whatever the team needs and help this team win. But I want to score goals, and I want to play at a high level and play at the level that I expect from myself. And looking to establish that right away.
Can you describe the difference in maybe just the feel of your whole group from this time compared to last year? Right, obviously the unfortunate ending both years, but there just seems to be a different feeling. Can you describe what that is?
I think it's motivation. I think it's excitement. I think it's a little bit of new blood, young blood, which is exciting to have. Bring some energy to the rink every day. So, truthfully, I thought that was the best practice we've had in a long time. So, it was exciting, fun to be out there, high pace, competitive. Thought it was the best practice we've had in a long time.
Stan talked yesterday about not trying to win this year with last year's team. Now, I know you got a few new guys, but you got a lot of the same guys back. Does changing up the lines, does guys playing with other players, does some change need to happen to make it a fresh year?
At times last year it was a little stale. And you can have that with older teams that, are kind of have one eye and, looking ahead to the playoffs. So, you can have some monotonous days, and I felt that last year. So, having some new faces in here, some young blood, as I said, playing with new guys, it can be exciting. A new project, something to work on and build on. And with that being said, we know that we can always go back to the old things, playing with Leo or playing with Nuge or whatever it is. We always have those things to go back on, and but it's exciting to try to build something with some other guys.
Connor, you mentioned the word motivation a couple times, and I know the previous loss in the Cup final was heartbreaking, you said, and last year was more anger. So can you describe how motivation changes based on these scenarios?
I don't know if it changes, but I think it's just easier to dust yourself off and get going again. I think Leo and Nursey and I skated together like 10, 12 days after. So, it was a quick turnaround and I think that's a good thing, just to keep on rolling. So, I think our guys feel pretty good, feel good with where our group's at. Obviously, it's day one. Everybody feels good with where they're at. But as I said, I thought that was a high-paced practice, competitive, and fun to be a part of.
I want to ask you, you've done this walk here from the room many times. Loud crowd. How would you compare that to your walk out of the concert?
Yeah, definitely different. Yeah, that was really fun. Really, cool experience to be a part of. What those guys go through. It was fun to see, fun to be on that side of it. Obviously I think, I'm a big fan of theirs, and it was cool to see it from his side of his point of view and how exciting that is, but understanding that, he's got 65,000 people there trying to watch him do his thing. He's got to entertain a lot of people. It can be stressful, but, just the adrenaline walking out was pretty fun.
Some athletes and artists always feel like they don't want to do the other person's job. Like, oh, that'd be cool. Are you guys like, hey, I'd like to be a musician?
I think if I touched the mic, everyone would have left. So, I have definitely a great appreciation and respect for what they do. I don't wish to trade lives or to do what they do, but definitely cool to see it from their perspective. They had 120 some odd thousand people come see them for 2 days in a city. It's a pretty amazing thing, and yeah, pretty cool.
You mentioned in your interview the other day, it's like a feeling you think you'll have. Is that just something? Do you think about it every day, or do you give yourself like time off? Kind of, what's your approach now? Is it a day thing? Is it a week thing? A month thing for the contract?
Obviously, we think about it. We talk about it. Gauge where we're at, what we're feeling. Yeah, nothing's really changed as of now, and just excited to be here at camp and get rolling. It's always an exciting time for us and for the rest of the league, and yeah, we're excited.
Well, there you have it. An array of different topics from McDavid. Respects the musician Morgan Wallen. Not going to be trying to sing anytime soon, which that's fair. Nothing wrong. Hey, boys, where do you see Frederick fitting into the lineup now that he's healthier? I've heard a lot of people slot him in as 3C, but I feel he may be using the top 6 with Hyman. Could you see him playing with Connor and Leon? And Nuge being the 3C? Thanks from Stu Lou. I could see a very good chance that when they break camp that you have Frederick on the third line right wing with Nugent Hopkins and Adam Henrique. I could see that. I could also see him potentially playing on the right wing with Connor McDavid. Most certainly. It definitely against certain teams too, right? Like when you have a physical guy right there, there's a much better chance if anything happens. And McDavid takes care of himself. And let's be honest, the league isn't that physical anymore, right? Like I can't remember the last time anyone tried to cheap shot Connor McDavid. So it doesn't happen that often. But, I don't know. He's shown a decent finishing touch. Could he be a guy that gets hot for 15 games? Remember, for one calendar year from January to end of December, Zach Kassian was like top 15 in 5-on-5 scoring in the NHL playing on McDavid's line, right? So could guys do it? 100%. Now, Kassian was big and fast and, similar to Frederick. I think Frederick's maybe not as quick as Kassian was, but maybe a little bit, different hockey sense and how he sees the ice. So, but I think Frederick's definitely in your top 9. I don't have any doubt about that. They're going to try him at center, but if they like Nuge at center, then you want to play Frederick in your top 9. So he's not going to play center then. So, but maybe he's your third line center in the off chance when on those games when McDavid's playing with Draisaitl, and then Nugent Hopkins your second line center. But no doubt in my mind, Trent Frederick's playing in the top 9, and I could see him on the first, second, or third line, to be honest, just because of the ability and just how he plays and who he reads off of. Right? Is Kapanen a lock to play with Draisaitl? I don't think so. Right? Is Tomasic a lock to play With McDavid, I don't think so. Right? Matt Savoy could play there, right, in any one of those roles. So we'll see. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up on a busy Thursday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
September, back to class and back to carting the kids around. Good news. Until the end of the month at Wolf GMC Buick, get GMC employee pricing on all remaining 2025 GMC Sierras, so you'll have loads of room. Plus, get 0% financing on Sierra light-duty crew cabs. If you're eyeing up an SUV, we have the completely redesigned GMC Terrain and our entire Buick family with incredible prices. And Costco members up to $1,200 additional off the price. Come see us, corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus, no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We return tomorrow. If you want to join us, we'll be live at the Thompson Arena tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon, getting set up for their grand opening of that new arena and kick off to the Saints season. So it should be fun tomorrow. All of those out in Spruce Grove, come by and say hello. Should be fun. Con Man, NFL Thursday Nighter. I know you've you watch it very closely. What's your thoughts on it? And any reason to think that the Dolphins can stay close in the game?
Close? Yeah, I think so. I mean, you got to remember, Gregor, like this Miami Dolphins offense in the past, I know time has passed, but like I was looking at the week 2-3 numbers from a couple years ago. Tua Tagovailoa threw 6 touchdowns. Like, you still got some guys on this team that can make some plays. Devon Achane, we know, is a dangerous threat when he gets the ball in his hands. Tyreek Hill is not the player he once was, but I think he can still make some plays. Jalen Waddle as well. And the Bills' defense did give up a lot of points to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, it's not the same. It's the Ravens,
are
right?
pretty good.
But I still think there's a chance to put up some points. So, like, we talked about the over-under at 50.5 points. Like, I still think that's a good opportunity for that to happen. Divisional rivals always play tougher. There's that familiarity with each other. So I think they can keep it close. By no means do I think they're going to win this game. In our survivor pool this week, I actually did go with the Buffalo Bills trying to get past week 3.
Oh, might have just jinxed it.
I might have jinxed it.
I
but
don't believe in jinxes.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough one. Like, I don't think they're going to win. I don't even know if they'll keep it within the spread of 11.5 points. But I do think it can be an entertaining football game if they dig deep here and see what happens. But the Buffalo Bills, they're a good team, and we saw what they did last week against inferior opponent in the New York Jets. They beat them 30-10, and Josh Allen barely had to do anything. Like, statistically speaking, fantasy football wise, it wasn't a good week for him.
No,
he
did nothing.
Now they got the running attack going with James Cook, and I think the defense is probably going to get better week by week here. So yeah, I think it's a tough one for the Dolphins. But really, if you're a Dolphins fan, you probably would like this and just keep losing and see what position you end up drafting in. But I don't think they have a chance to win this game.
The other thing is, I think it kind of gets overlooked, is the Bills really want to finish first. They do not want to have to go to KC.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, if you can get first spot in the AFC going into the playoffs, and not just KC, but I think Baltimore's a tough spot to go into and play as well. So anytime you can make them come through Orchard Park, that's probably the way to do it and keep it rolling here. And handling your business in the division. I know all these teams are still a few years away from really competing with Buffalo, I think, but yeah, you're right, 100%. This is a team that needs probably to finish first spot in the division and conference and make sure that the Super Bowl goes through Buffalo.
Going back to the Oilers and the Zach Hyman news, not a huge shock, but still, a little disappointing for the Oilers and their fans, because Zach Hyman, if you're just joining us, will be out for the entire month of October. He's going to return in November. Don't know exactly when in November. So that's at least 6 games that he will miss, and potentially up to 15, because they have 3 games in the first 4 days of that month. It's super early, and we're going to have the whole preseason, which will go by fast. But is there somebody that you like on the net front, and then someone you like 5-on-5 to take over for Zach Hyman?
Yeah, I mean, I think 5-on-5, I would love to see one of the younger players get that opportunity. Like, if a Matthew Savoy is able to, I think that'd be huge. You could have some of these other players play a little bit further down the lineup. I don't know if we're going to get to that point. Net front presence, I do think I agree with you with Adam Henrique, and just a guy who in the past has put up goals. I mean, he's been a 20-goal scorer on multiple occasions. So I think he's where I would start. Obviously, if it doesn't work, you have some other options that you could potentially look at. But for the power play, I like Henrique, and then I think 5-on-5, I'm leaning Matthew Savoy to start it off with, but have to see what he does in the preseason, right? Like, I talked about it already. I liked what we saw from him in that little set that we had last year. The retrieval he had behind the net to find Leon Draisaitl. I thought that was a really encouraging thing. I love hearing stories that, even in blowouts last year with the Condors, he was willing to put himself out there in PK situations. I think, that's just an encouraging trait to have in his character, that he wants to continually get better and do the little things to ensure he can play and contribute to an NHL franchise night in, night out. So, yeah, I think that's probably the route I would go to start the season. But, yeah, again, have to see how it plays in the preseason.
Yeah, well, definitely I see Matt Savoy in the top 9, no question. And preseason will be one. Like, you look at the right side, right now today. If you look at Draisaitl, McDavid, and Nugent Hopkins, their right wingers were Tomasic, Kapanen, and Savoy. So Matt Savoy winning that job and being the number 1 right winger. I don't think anybody would be shocked to say that's a decent possibility or / probability. And there's definitely, if there was the you know what, geez, things were a little stale. There's not, it's early on, but it doesn't look like there'll be a lot of stale, because there'll be lots of new opportunities for different players this season, just because of the Zach Hyman injury. That opens up a lot of a potential ice time and opportunity for multiple players. So it's going to come down to which guys are able to seize the moment the most here in the next just over 2 weeks. That's what's going to come down to, right? Like, because what is the final preseason game is 2 weeks tomorrow, right? So is it not? Yeah, the 19th and then the 3rd. Yeah. So basically, it's really going to be, they got 8 games in a 12-day span. Obviously, there's 2 games in 1 day. So then you got 6 games in 11 days, which is normally how the preseason works. Obviously, you don't have the same guys playing all the time, right? So don't worry. It's not like they're going to run somebody into the ground. But man, this is like, if you're a guy like Noah Philp, even though he's not going to be somebody who I believe is getting a look to play in Zach Hyman's spot, but there'll be an opportunity for him to play potentially in the top 12 now because Hyman's out, everybody else moves up. And if you're a young player like him, man, I've always said it. Some guys you can't just expect the organization to gift guys opportunities. You got to grab it and be like, look at the way this guy's playing. He deserves it. And that's going to be the key. Have yourselves a lovely Thursday. Enjoy the hockey and baseball, football, and more. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. We will chat with you tomorrow. Let's get to the comment on the Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Can you continue to develop your game year-round? Small skill drills. They got off-ice and on-ice skate monitors, edge work, and more. 01.ca. ZERONE.ca. $300 a month, and you get 18 on-ice sessions. It's a great deal. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Oilers head coach Chris Knoblauch told the media today that forward Zach Hyman likely won't return to the lineup until early November. He was injured in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final last season against the Stars, a dislocated wrist that did require surgery. In the NFL tonight, Week 3 kicks off out in Orchard Park with the Bills hosting the Dolphins. That one gets going at 6:15. Major League Baseball, Jays fell to the Rays today 4-0. They'll kick off a series with the Royals tomorrow, who lost to the Mariners 2-0 as well. Elsewhere, Marlins over the Rockies 9-7. The Mets beat the Padres 6-1, and the Tigers falling at home to the Guardians 3-1. Right now, Yankees up on the Orioles 2-0 in the top of the third. Angels, Brewers, Reds, Cubbies both scoreless. And later tonight, one other game, Dodgers taking on the Giants in the WNBA playoffs. Game number 3, series had a 1 apiece. Beaver lead the Dream 29-27 after the first. And later tonight, you got the Storm and the Aces. That series also tied at a game apiece. In college football right now, Charlotte leads Rice 3-0 with 6 minutes left in the first quarter. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius here on Sports 1440. Streaming on our YouTube channel at Sports 1440 AM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.